Welcome to the 34th episode of the Triple Takeover Toycast, where we're as partial to a bit of robot-related banter as we are to the occasional tangent on baked breakfast treats, it seems. That's not to say that we don't adhere to the subject at hand when the situation calls, but we're not ones to get too stuck up about it either. Speaking of which, if tonight's topic has me feeling like I'm stuck in the middle with you, then that implies that I got clowns to the left of me and jokers to the right, which is of course the perfect segue to introduce my two co-hosts. First up, we have the man who has written more articles about unconventional stickering practices than anyone else who lives just south of the Arctic Circle. He's definitely too old for this sheet. It's M.A.S. from Transformers Square One.
Yes, to all of it. Yeah.
Then what else can you say?
Yeah, I can't deny.
Next we have a chap who some may say is a bit tacky, even rather clingy on occasion, but there's little doubt he's secretly the glue that holds us all together. It's Liam from Toybox Soapbox.
I'm still wondering how to take all of that, but I can't argue with any of it.
My name is Sixo, but more on that later, as yes, it's true, I'm so happy to be stuck with you. What's shaking, lads?
That was brilliant.
Very nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Out of practice, he said. Rusty, he said.
I did say that, didn't I? I did say I'm a little bit out of practice with the old, not just the old intros, the old podcasting in general. It's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, you got yourself out of a sticky situation there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That was nearly in there. Sticky situation was...
He nearly came unstuck. No.
Right, exactly. There we go. It's all coming out now. Yeah, but it's been busy times. I've moved house since we last recorded.
You're up north now, aren't you?
No, mate. No, Midlands. Midlands represent.
It's the jammy dodger.
Doesn't get any more north than me anyway, unless you're in Svalbard or something.
To you, it's like if you go north of the North Circular, you're north, aren't you? That's just like that's north of England.
Speaking of jammy dodgers, Liam, what did you have for breakfast today?
Well, I didn't eat it all. I just had a tube of Pringles. They were very nice.
What flavour?
For breakfast?
Yeah, I was trying to pick some up this morning, and I was running out of time, so I just grabbed what was on the side, and it was a tube of Pringles.
Were they all butter Pringles?
No, they were cheese and chili. They're like new ones. I saw them in Wilco's the other day on offer, and I was
cheese and
sucking
chili
in.
Pringles for breakfast, man. My God.
Sizzling.
I bet you were.
Some people eat cheese for breakfast, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I even have Tabasco sometimes with breakfast, with eggs or avocado. So
Tabasco?
I guess,
normal breakfast foods.
Green Tabasco, yeah. I've discovered green Tabasco, and it's made a lot of foods that I wouldn't eat edible, and it's actually sold out here in Iceland. Like, I cannot find green Tabasco anywhere.
So it melts all the ice? Is that how?
It's because everyone's into it.
It's a health hazard.
They stop you if you fly in. They frisk your bags and things and make sure you can't bring it in.
You know when that volcano was going off?
No, I didn't notice.
Are you sure it wasn't just a bottle of Tabasco sauce someone had opened?
I would have actually made it to the volcano if that was the case. I would have been there with my eggs going, hey.
Just trickling down the street.
No, look, it was you we were ridiculing for your breakfast. Don't turn this around and make it about me and my Tabasco obsession now, all right?
You're the one mixing avocados, eggs and Tabasco there.
I don't mix them together. Just eggs with Tabasco, avocado with Tabasco, maybe cheese with Tabasco.
This sounds like the kind of meal some sort of boxer puts in a blender and next, some sort of...
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've had at least a couple of people quibbling my knowledge of croissant making over the last couple of weeks since the last episode went live. Evidently, my use of the word literally was taken a bit literally when I said they were literally made of butter.
Well, that just shows we need to script the whole episode now.
Right, exactly. It's one of those things where you say something in the moment and obviously I am a bit liberal with the use of the word literal, like a lot of people are in conversation. But it's one of those, isn't it? It's where like you sort of forget that you're not just sat in the pub sometimes and that actually some of this conversation is going to be played back for people to kind of dissect in minute detail or whatever. So
it's old fake news Sixo over there. I'm still not buying into this idea.
That's my new thing. I just go around spreading lies about breakfast goods.
Not spreading butter on croissants.
Well, certainly not that, mate.
Or butter on butter.
They are not literally, but predominantly made of butter. So there you go, to clarify.
I can't believe it's not butter,
No, I can't believe it is
I can't believe it is butter.
It is butter, yeah, exactly.
It's still not got it, obviously, yeah.
Anyway, how are you both been? How are you, Liam?
Good. I've missed you guys, man. It feels like ages since we've done this, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah. Have you erected anything in your garden of late?
Oh, yeah, I've got the old 700 litres of water out there. Yeah, made a little hot tub after doing up my garden, rewired the lights, and now I get to live there as, like some sort of fancy Dan. There's a little hot tub.
Wait, does Dan have a hot tub?
Dan, yeah. Fancy Dan.
Just imagine him outside with his coal barbecue in a hot tub at the same time.
I can actually picture that, yeah. I can totally picture that. Probably worth saying that we're slightly late to recording this one, aren't we? Because you've been busy in the old hot tub.
Oh, yeah. I'm falling asleep from...
Yeah, he didn't get the time machine function working, so we are actually late with this episode as a result.
Right, exactly. So need to get that function going.
Has anyone repurchased any more toys since the last episode, by the way?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so, no. I've been too busy.
No.
Just me then. Okay.
Ooh, what have you repurchased? Is it more Diaclone?
Yeah, it was. I got my Battle Buffalo through this week, and it was momentous. I can't believe I ever sold it. It's one of those when you do get it back, you just think, why did I ever think it was a good idea to live without this in my life? I just can't understand. And I've rejoined the Diaclone thread on the TFW 2005 forums. There's a lot of hardcore Diaclone fans and collectors, way more than at the start of the hobby. Like, I thought I was hardcore when we started. I can't compare to these folks. There was one chap who was telling me he'd ordered 6 of the latest pre-order, and that's just what he does.
Right.
Yeah.
6.
And a lot of those guys don't really rate Battle Buffalo. I feel like one of the few people who are still chiming on about how amazing this figure is, and I think it's because there's a lot of Transformers in me still, and I view these as sentient characters, maybe individual robots, whereas they're looking entirely at the interconnectivity and stuff. But I've got to say, man, Battle Buffalo, it wasn't just some rose-tinted look at the past. Got this thing in hand and it still blew me away completely. Masterpiece.
I've got to say, I'm there with you, man, because, I mean, I've said to you, I think, before that it was a favourite of mine, Battle Buffalo, and your pictures that you've taken are incredible, by the way. I think I did say as much on
You
Twitter.
did, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
No, absolutely stunning. I was blown away by them. And if anything, it just confirmed for me how much I need that toy again in my life.
Yeah.
It was straight away, it was like zing, and probably the white version as well, even though that might never happen. But
that's just really become tough now.
Yeah,
really tough.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Old mozzarella.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, your photos really sell those toys. And there we go. There's a proof of it in action there with Sixo.
Right, exactly.
That's very kind of. They don't usually do well on social, the Diaclone photos that I take. I do often put a lot of work into them, but they never sort of approach the figures of, like, if you just snap a picture of the latest Hasbro thing on my windowsill, that'll do 200 likes easy. But a studio Diaclone photo with loads of work, 40, 50 maybe.
It definitely depends what you're shooting, for sure.
Yeah.
If you're shooting current Hasbro generation stuff, tons of likes. If you're, whatever the hottest thing is. But yeah, Diaclone is a bit more on the periphery, isn't it, for sure? So. Well, before we get into the topic at large, we should mention that we are sponsored tonight, as ever, by the wonderful TFsource.com. Do check them out for all your Transformers and third-party and Diaclone needs.
Did we actually tell them what the topic was?
No, I don't think we have yet. I made some vague references to it in the intro about getting stuck and stuff like that, but they'll have seen the episode art when they'll have seen the title.
It's about breakfast.
Right. Breakfast, what's Liam? That's the whole topic. No, they'll have seen it. They know the score by now. But yeah, it's about stickering. We'll get to that in a minute. But yes, we are sponsored by TFsource.com. Do check them out. We'll do a longer segment on them in the middle of the pod. And we've also got a Patreon, don't we, M.A.S.?
Yes. Patreon.com/Triple Takeover. We have currently 4 tiers, which will soon extend. But you can get benefits such as access to episodes early, even though this one isn't early, but you'll still get it earlier than everyone else. You can get the chance to submit a question that we will answer on the pod. You can vote in episode polls to have an influence on what topics we cover in future episodes. And the greatest perk at the moment is being able to commission a mini-sode topic where we will do an exclusive Patreon-only episode, usually between 20 to 40 minutes, sometimes an hour, on a subject that you've selected from a list that we've provided. But if your subject's really good, we'll do it anyway. And incidentally, today's episode was originally a Patreon request from Cracktastic Plastic. We just took one look at it and thought, no, that needs to be a full episode. So that's how we've ended up doing stickering as a full episode today. So that's actually quite a good influence. You've managed to influence a whole episode, not just a minisode. But then we've asked him to provide a minisode topic as well. So those are our benefits, and we think it's fantastic value. And we'll give a shout out to our Sixo's Butlers patrons, our top tier patrons, a little bit later in the show.
It's not the first time, is it, that a mini-sode has become an episode? I think Black Convoy started as a mini-sode as well, didn't it? And we even sat down to record it, as I recall, and after about 25 minutes of discussing it,
that should have been the mini-sode.
We were like, how are we going to make this work in 30 minutes or whatever? Oh, we're not. Okay, we're going to have to do a full episode. But yeah, that probably would have been fun to record.
I think so.
And as we're talking about stickers, if people like decals and nice little graphics, you can go and check out our Rebel store, where you can get aprons, mugs, the iconic Triple Takeover tights, all sorts of cool stuff emblazoned with our logo and lots of lovely designs. And you can find that at rebel.com/people/Triple Takeover/explore.
Explore.
Every time he says that, I think that.
I do the same. Literally
I have to stop myself from saying it. That's why I mathed it in the background there as I did it.
I just said literally again. I'm just conscious of it now. Literally.
Fake news Sixo strikes again. They're becoming
exactly. What will he say next?
Just call him All Butter Sixo from now on.
All Butter Sixo.
Yes.
Yeah, ABS.
Breadsticks, not made of bread. That's what he's going to come out with next.
Not made of bread, Sixo. Indeed. Well, yeah, we are here to talk about stickering tonight. That is the topic, by the way. It's not Liam's breakfast, in case you were wondering what you'd signed on for.
That's another Patreon exclusive.
Wait, Liam, you know mince pies don't have any mincemeat in them, right?
Oh, man.
I discovered that because I did. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to tell the story quickly before we start.
What have I done? Here we go.
Okay, so
what have you done?
You know me, I'm a vegetarian. So for decades and decades, I avoided mince pies under the assumption that they had mincemeat in. For decades, it wasn't until I met Emily, where she aged 20 something, and she was like, "Have you ever had a mince pie?" I'm like, "Well, no, I'm a vegetarian." And then she's like, "It's not meat." And I'm like, "Mincemeat." And I was like, "This is a trick. This was like Sixo and the croissants, but from in the past."
Oh mate, yeah. It's only the same as so I'm lactose intolerant, and whenever I say that to people, sometimes they're like, "So can you eat eggs?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because eggs don't come from a cow." And they look at you like,
yeah, they do. They're made from butter, man.
Right, exactly. People look at you quite confused, like, what? See, and they're like, can you have mayonnaise and stuff like that? I'm like, it's not all white foods. That's not what lactose is. Like, it's quite funny. It's got to be said. So anyway,
this also struck as well. Just before we go on, Yorkshire puddings, because I only ever saw those on people having roast dinners, and we never had those as kids. So again, with Emily, I was mystified when I discovered that Yorkshire puddings weren't some kind of meat-filled thing.
What she did, she just put one in front of you. So point out the meat, Liam. Point it out.
Yeah.
Where's the meat?
Yeah, and now I discovered I like them, but her response was like, "How did you survive this long
without mince pies and Yorkshire puddings?"
Liam, she's not the only one asking that question, mate, honestly.
No, I regularly ask myself daily, how has he survived this long? And your breakfast tweet this morning was just further evidence.
Horseradish, that was another one. All of those things had horse in it.
Horseradish.
That was the other one. And what's the other one? Welsh rabbit, which I thought was someone saying rabbit in a funny voice for years until quite recently.
Oh, God.
So, the culinary discoveries I've made over years.
I'm sweating out my eyes.
It's not my fault. People should use words less literally, or more literally.
Well, that's
something
what Sixo in trouble is.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me started, honestly. What am I to say on that one? Oh, dear. So anyway, stickering toys.
Stickering toys, yes, this topic, man. I've been looking forward to this.
So you're a bit of a sticker aficionado, aren't you, Mez?
Yeah, man. I love stickering toys. I don't do it as often now because Toy Hacks have run out of sticker fixer. So every time I use a vintage sticker sheet and it starts to peel, they were the rescue. Like G1 Sunstreaker that I stickered a few years ago. There were so many peeling corners on every single sticker on that toy. And it took about 3 rounds of sticker fixer before everything was secure the way it should be. And it's still perfect. So I don't really want to undertake anything else without having sticker fixer at hand. But yes, I absolutely adore taking vintage sticker sheets and putting them on vintage toys. Even reissues. I love doing reissue stickering.
No, yeah, I love doing reissues. It does depend on the quality of the sticker and everything, but of course we'll get to all of that. But I'm with you on the sticker fixer. I actually must admit, when we were talking about doing this episode, I was like, yeah, this could very well end up being a whole long campaign to just make Toy Hacks start making sticker fixer again, because that stuff is so essential, honestly.
Yeah, somebody once told me it was like, just a glue pen or something like that. So I bought one with, again, disastrous results. It was not like sticker fixer at all.
What was it, like PVA glue that you got or something? Or?
Yeah, you get like lots of different types of glue pens now, and someone said, it's just one of those. And yeah, it just like
it was Copydex, wasn't it? It just put Copydex on.
It was like being at school, when you get that the PVA glue all over your hands. It just ended up like that all over again.
Man.
Wow. Yeah.
Did it ruin the stickers?
No. The stickers are alright, to be honest, because they're always quite good material for that. Glue just tends to wipe off them if it hasn't set. So
whatever was in that stuff, that sticker fixer, they definitely need to start making it again. Though, honestly, like I'm a bit the same as you, Maz. Like I'm sort of loath to kind of get cracking with any potential stickering projects without it in hand, just because, like, if you do have an unused 1980s vintage Transformers sticker sheet and you apply it and it doesn't work, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah. And I think they were probably not perfect back in the 80s either. It's not just that the adhesive has dried over the decades. You see toys with always the same stickers are peeling, the corners are bent, and you think to yourself, how have people just not taken care with that? How has every single owner of that toy never taken care? And what it actually is that the sticker is in a place where you have to use that surface to transform the toy. And if the sticker starts to peel because the adhesive wasn't strong enough originally, you just end up dog-earing the corner immediately.
Yeah.
And I can see that would happen even with a careful collector now and someone who knows the score after years of experience.
No, for sure. I think actually the worst examples in my mind are the ones, well, there's kind of two things, I guess, isn't there? There's the toys that you apply stickers to. We're getting into all the bad stuff first, aren't we? But never mind. It's the toys that you apply stickers to and they don't fit. So either they have to, like Seekers and stuff like that, they have to kind of go over bumps and round corners, or Hound, or stuff like that.
The Seeker eyes. Annoying. The Seeker eyes.
The Seeker eyes are just like the worst. Honestly.
I've not done a Seeker in my adult life. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it.
I've done
so many horror stories.
I've done so many. I can't even tell. Literally, name a Seeker. I've done them, and that is a literally. Honestly,
Croissant Scream.
Yeah.
You didn't do Ghost Starscream, surely?
No, actually not Ghost Starscream. Him I elected to keep naked, as it were.
Ghosty.
Sticker free. Ghosty, yeah, exactly. Because there's some toys you don't want a sticker, isn't there? But let's talk about that as well as we go. But I've done all of them, honestly, and it's hideous. It's just it's the boobs. It's the folding around the boobs and all of that. It's just awful. And the eyes as well, as you say, Liam. It's just...
The ones in the shoulders as well, because they need to be perfectly aligned and fit into the space and not stick to any of the side surfaces as well.
Even the feet. Even those ones that go on the front of the feet. They're a pain in the ass. But the eyes, man. When you see those geezers with the sort of novelty glasses where about 6 different magnifying glasses come down, like in films. That's what these are designed for. There's a Seeker eyes, because you can't see them with your own eyes. You've got
like an optician when they wear those. Yeah. But like, and the ones in the vents and stuff, like if they're just... genuinely 1 millimeter too large on one of the sides or something. They just don't fit at all, and it's a total nightmare. So you get like those ones where the stickers just don't fit, or they've got to go over like a gap or something like that, or cover a screw hole, which I always hate. Like I'm never a big fan of that. Actually, the one that caused me ultra grief was Skids. The wheels on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Because they've got a screw head sticking out, and you're supposed to put a flat sticker over a screw head. I can't do that. I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
There are so many bad ones. I remember G1 Megatron, because the Transformers sticker sheet was completely new. The Microman sticker sheet was this tiny thing, but they had to add a bunch of stickers for the Transformers version. So it feels like they didn't really try them out properly. So when you open Megatron's legs, it's got those arms, the sort of ratchet arms that link the big legs to the waist.
Yeah.
Those things are not ratcheted on the original, but they're ratcheted on the reissue. So they've got 2 stickers that go along them, and when you put them on where it instructs, as soon as you transform it, the end of it just gets ruined against the waist, the pelvis. I just think, you haven't thought that one through, have you? There's just no way to not damage it. Just this week, I damaged my punch-counterpunch because it's not thin enough to survive the extension of the legs, and it just sheared the top of that sticker, just extending the legs of the toy. I was just so gutted, because that toy took me ages to sticker, and I did it meticulously as well.
It's a difficult one to do. Well, then, yeah, and I was going to say, then you get the toys where you actually damage the stickers through use of the toy. And the obvious one to me is Hot Rod.
Hot Rod, yeah.
I mean, those leg stickers, the thigh stickers or whatever, that just as soon as you collapse the legs, they just shear off. You just take the stickers off.
Terrible. And then they fixed it for the second run Target Master and made these small ones that work, and yet every reissue since has gone back to the large one.
So that's a consequence of the legs being shortened on the original toy, isn't it? Is that why the stickers rip?
Maybe. They're just in a bad location. But even with the longer legs one, I mean, you would still have had to compact the legs without leaving any gaps in car mode. And then you've got the Walmart reissue where the stickers are extra thin and kind of cheap feeling. They don't scrub off because they're really thin. So actually they make the clearance.
It's just a weird one, isn't it? It's just a little bit of kind of extra design. Do you think a lot of that, I mean, not in Hot Rod's case, obviously, but like with some of the earlier toys, do you think it is just literally because they were Diaclone and some of the additional stickers or whatever just weren't considered, or do you just think that it's always been that way?
There are so many cases where the stickers are fine, but in a lot of them, you just feel like it was designed separately by someone else and then not without thinking of the mechanics of use of the toy. And I mean, look at us. We're roughly 40 years old, a lot of us, and we're meticulous about making our toys look a certain way because we want them to be perfect. They were never designed to do that. They were just designed to be minor embellishments to make a figure look kind of cool for kids. So I do wonder exactly how much thought originally went into making these stickers completely durable to survive hundreds of transformations and be in locations where they make the toy look good but also aren't damaged by wear. And so many Transformer stickers they're going to take wear just from the transformation of the toy.
I do think you're right. I think ultimately, I mean, we talk a lot about yellowing plastic and, clear plastic, things like that. But, I mean, none of these things were designed to really last 40 years plus, were they? And still be in tip-top condition. And quite clearly, the stickers, as you say, were not designed to be applied and then played with by children and still look mint. There's just no way that was ever going to happen. So it's kind of a funny one. And I guess that actually is where, obviously, things like toy hacks, we've already mentioned them, that's where they obviously come in, isn't it? Because a large part of what they do, as well as new toys, is providing repos for old toys, just because so many vintage specimens that you see have just got knackered stickers.
Yeah. But then some of those vintage specimens have really clever stickers for like G1 tracks. Like if you do it exactly how the Diaclone sheet says, those stickers go in between spaces on the backpack, like tiny little molding details that you're supposed to put a tiny little thin strip sticker in, and it kind of looks good. Because if you do it the Transformers way, there are some stickers which are never front facing and you just literally never see them. And you just think, well, what's the point of that sticker?
Well, to give you your credit, and obviously I was going to bring this up at some point, I mean, I did allude to this fact in the intro and said that you've written a lot of articles about unconventional Transformers stickering, and Tracks is definitely one of those, isn't it? Because
that's brilliant.
All credit to you. When I stickered up my, I think it was Road Rage, first of all, my eHobby Road Rage, I used that article for reference because it was brilliant, honestly, and it
fantastic.
Really interesting to see kind of, the way that you presented the kind of history around it and your fact-finding and everything else. I thought it was brilliant.
I appreciate it. All it took was looking at the Diaclone instructions, which unfortunately many people don't have access to. I don't have one. I had to beg a collector to take a photo of their instruction sheet for me. And that's what a lot of people have done for a lot of the stickers I have applied. Had to do it with... I've got the instructions for Hound, and I know where Hound stickers go. You might find there's always one sticker on the Hound sheet that is never applied because it doesn't tell you where to put it. And it's actually not cut in the right place either. So it's always left on the sticker sheet. But if you look at the pictures in the instructions, you can see where it's meant to go. So I've had to get in touch with loads of collectors and say, like, hey, can you take a photo of your Diaclone instructions? Constructicons is another good one. For example, like the Walmart sheet doesn't say the same as the G1 sheet, and the G1 sheet doesn't say what the Diaclone one does. So some stickers always end up in really weird places. And you get duplicates for the same spot as well.
Yeah, I noticed this recently, actually, because I stickered up a few sets of Constructicons recently and noticed that. That's an interesting one as well, because you get stuff like Bone Crusher, where it's got a Decepticon emblem over the factory sticker and things like that as well, which I find I don't know. Like, I always feel a little bit uneasy about that in a sort of bizarre way.
You can't mess it up. You really, really can't mess that one up. You've got to get it aligned bang on. There's no replacing it.
It's also kind of weird because the factory sticker is so nice. So it's kind of, it's just almost a bit of a shame to just whop a Decepticon logo on there. Like, could they not have put it somewhere else?
Yeah, I suppose that's the funny thing with these, wasn't it? Because a lot of these are Diaclone toys, so they're add-in stickers, isn't it? They've got to find places for them. Because, Optimus Prime is always a pain in the backside for me, because he's got the little bumpy chickenpox things on his shoulders. Right. And there's the Autobot badges that all go there and they always fall off, like it's over time.
Unless when you apply it, you deliberately sort of crease it and you indent those spots, and it feels terrible because you can see yourself wrecking the sticker just to get it to touch the actual surface of the shoulder in all the places it needs to so it doesn't peel. And I had to do that with the reissues, and it was very counterintuitive.
Yeah. That's a weird one, isn't it? Because Optimus is he's the most iconic part of the whole franchise. And in a way, that Autobot emblem on his shoulder is so well known. And yet, you can't apply the blooming sticker on the original toy. It's incredible. Do you know what I mean? It's a clear sign that those toys were not designed with some of those emblems in mind initially.
It's amazing how iconic it is, though, as well, when you think about that. But the first, as soon as you trying to get it on there, you're like, this cannot be right. And then, like I say, like my vintage one, it's still got the original stickers, but they fall off every time I pick it up. But because they're the vintage stickers, I still just press them back on and just hope they just hold for a bit longer.
I know that one. Another one on Optimus Prime, the iconic sticker, is the Go sticker that, it's always quite central on Optimus Prime trailers, isn't it? But I remember, the Diaclone one isn't supposed to be central. It's like offset to the side of the trailer door. And the only way you'd know that is if you had the Battle Convoy instructions. I remember there was a dude going around the community a while ago saying, because anyone got a picture of this instruction sheet, because I want to make sure this is going in the right place. And lo and behold, it was in a completely different location to the normal one that you always see on a G1 Prime trailer.
I didn't know that. That's new information for me. Interesting.
This is why I love your sticker articles. You already know I come to you whenever I sticker any vintage toy first. I'm always like, Maz, what's the right way for these? So
that was actually part of Cracktastic Plastic's request for the minisode. He was asking, what is the procedure that you go through for stickering a toy? And I think, like
Message
both of
Maz. Straight away.
When I've not done the toy, though, because plenty I've not stickered.
Yeah.
Very funny. But what do you do if I haven't done it? You look at the box art, you look at the stock photography on the side of the box, you look at the instructions, you look at old catalogues, and when all of those don't agree with each other, you're stuck with, let me look at TFW. What does their gallery say?
I was going to say,
Cybertron.com.
I'm not averse to doing, on the subjects. I have joked with you before and been like, where's the article on this toy? And you're like, I haven't written one. And I'm like, could you get on it, please? But no, I'm obviously not averse to doing my own research in those situations. But yeah, it's a combination of, I always look at the box photography if I can. If I don't have the box, find a scan of it or photo of it online. The side flaps, or very often the top flaps. There's the top flap as well with the transformation on it and stuff. The top,
you get different angles where you can't see on the rest of it. Yeah,
right, exactly. So get as many pictures of the box as you can to try and see what they've done. Sometimes the stickers on those copies of the toys don't even match what you've got in front of you because it's a prototype or something like that. But hey ho, it's worth a try. I remember Galvatron was one that really threw me.
We had fun with that, didn't we?
Yeah. I remember asking you, where do you think this one goes? It was the orientation, I think, or something.
Yeah. It's exactly that, because it's got the 3 squares on those hip flaps. So we looked at the Hasbro stuff, and then we realised that the Takara box photography is different to the Hasbro one.
Yeah.
And then we also looked at that Hasbro Toy Fair catalogue as well.
I remember looking at the Toy Fair catalogue, and it was like the wooden prototype. Not even wooden prototype, it was a plastic prototype or resin prototype,
different
I think.
colours and all that,
Yeah, but it had the dots, as I recall, or... so in that situation, it's weird because you're looking at a prototype that doesn't even match the toy in any way, shape or form, but there's a clue or an indication on that prototype that shows how the sticker is supposed to go. There's enough of a visual cue or something.
That's my secret weapon. Every now and then, if I can't tell, I'll go to Raz and I'll go, Raz, you own this prototype, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I've got the hardcover. I was like, let's have a look at the stickers. And then there are mock-up stickers. I'm like, that's what I'm going with. And then you see the trail of how it changed and how some dude maybe made a mistake on the instructions. Or Soundwave is another great example of things that just get accepted.
What, the speaker stickers?
Yeah, the speaker stickers are actually the battery stickers.
They're not speaker stickers,
Right, they're batteries, and they're supposed to go on the weapons. But how can you have a sound wave without those stickers on the side of the tape player?
Yeah, and it's funny because when I came to stickering up my Walmart copy, I had a real dichotomy about do I put them on the batteries as they're supposed to be, or do I put them on the legs as if they're speakers? Because they do look quite good as speakers as well.
They look great. That's how Soundwave looks.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of like torn in that instance, and you just have to make a decision, don't you? You can't do both.
Yes, you can. That's the decision you make. You buy two, and you do both.
Well, you get a toy hack set, I guess, and then you're golden, aren't you? But yeah, I mean, it's a really tough one. You do have to make some choices at some point, and that's the bit I find interesting. So yeah, definitely prototypes. Look at box pictures. I do look online at what other collectors have done as well, but there is at least, we've said it before, I think once without naming names, but there is at least one very high profile source of images out there that often some of the stickers are not quite orientated correctly or things like that. So you do have to kind of, I think, look at multiple sources. Do you know what I mean? And
absolutely right. Yeah.
So and equally, it depends how fastidious you want to be about this stuff because
you could make a decision which actively is historically accurate and is the intention of the designer, but is actually worse than the common location. Like I've done Override in the last year. And Override's box art has his sticker sort of like on his collar. But most people put the sticker on the chest because it looks a lot better there. But I actually went and put it on the collar. So it doesn't actually make the toy look better. But I'm satisfied that was the designer's intention, that's where that sticker was meant to go.
This is like the reverse thing of cartoon accuracy, isn't it? It's like, like the kind of current thing of like Blitzwing's little nose cone in his tank mode thing, people are like, it looks crap. And other people are like, yeah, but it's cartoon accurate, and it's like, this is like the reverse of that. It's like, well, it would look better if you put the sticker here. And it's like, yeah, but on the prototype, it's like the absolute opposite or reverse of the whole kind of argument for cartoon accuracy somehow.
I would end up with like 50, Chrome tabs open with every single photo. And
I've got phone and PC, just various sources. Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember what it was. I think it was when I was sticking Roadbuster, which was like a whole saga in itself.
Oh, man.
Those instructions,
toys,
you can tell whoever did the Hasbro instructions was getting very tired of trying to, put the sticker instructions, because by the end you just look at them going, I swear there's some missing. But not only that, I'm sure the ones he's just drawn arrows anyway, just like, I'm done now, I'm done.
Do you reckon it was the same guy who designed Masterpiece Megatron?
In
2 weeks.
He had 4 hours to do Roadbuster's sticker sheet.
It was on his fridge as a post-it.
Right.
He found it underneath another post-it. Was like, oh no, I've only got 1 day left to do this.
Need Roadbuster instructions now. Well, no, Whirl is the same, and all of the deluxe Insecticons are the same. I mean, I remember sending you, when I was doing my set of deluxe Insecticons, the funniest thing is that the Hasbro instructions are, I mean, to say they're pitiful is, it's not even real. Like, it's just arrows everywhere. Do you know what I mean? You've got this tiny little print, like 1 billion stickers on these toys, because it's from Takeover. They're all like those kind of slightly clear stickers as well. Good quality stickers, don't get me wrong. But some of them are just so ambiguous, they could go anywhere. And you've just got lines crossing lines. There's like a real don't cross the streams malarkey thing going on. And then I sometimes, actually, I will say this as well as reference. I do use toy hacks for reference as well. Even if I'm applying a non-toy hack set, I find that because toy hacks lay things out very clearly normally, and they have everything numbered and all of that, their references and guides can actually be extremely useful just for vintage stickers, as well as obviously their own sets. But in the case of the deluxe Insecticons, they clearly didn't really know either. And I think I did mention this to someone behind the scenes at Toy Hacks, and they were kind of a bit, yeah, we don't know. So just kind of, it's something like this, and their guides and things are equally kind of confounding. It's quite funny.
Do you know, I think it comes from the fact that if you look at the Valkyrie sticker sheets, the original Macross Valkyries, I think you had choices. Like, there was no one set of how to do it. And also, they were water slide. They weren't even sticker, they were water slide, which is doubly worse. And you could just choose how you would do it. So that if that's translated over from older Takatoku toys to Transformers, then you've probably got more than you actually need to decorate the figure.
I wonder actually if like Roadbuster and those guys, I don't know. I'd need to confirm if they were water slides initially, because they've got the look of water slides to them, but they are, typical sort of stickers as such, but it'd be interesting to know.
Well, that was another reason why those reissue Valkyries were great, because it was just all tampoed on and it looked incredible. And it was just and it still comes with stickers, I think.
But where do you stand on that as like tampos? Because that's obviously, that has been done in Transformers as well on some reissues where they tampo them instead of, being proper stickers. Does that sit well with you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of an example that I don't like. I mean, the Micromasters are wonderful, which have been tampoed. Hot Rod, which comes with a completely tampoed chest for the book collection. That's great. They look fantastic. The Sideswipe with the tampoed headlights, and that's great because that sticker always peels. And the tampoed door handles in black and the roof detail on the Countach. I'm all for it. I think they were brilliant.
But isn't that a weird one then, that you're like very pro sticker, but...
No, I don't think I'm pro sticker. I think that the stickering thing comes from growing up thinking certain Transformers were cack and just never liking them, and then getting in a childhood collection from a friend who preserved his toys brilliantly, and seeing things like Chrome Dome and Joyride in great condition and thinking, oh my goodness, so that's what it's meant to look like. That's what and everyone's owned like a busted Chrome Dome or a rubbish condition Stunticon or something. And then you see them in great condition with great stickers and you think, I get it now. I get it why this toy made it out the factory. So I thought to myself, well, let me do a photo resource of any toy I can with perfect stickers, vintage stickers, so that people can look at that and say, that's what it was meant to look like. I get it now. And we've got a friend who's got a quick switch and he says it's cack. He hates quick switch. And I've got a perfect quick switch, which I stickered. And I think it's wonderful. It's one of the toys putting back my display up this month that I held onto it for a little bit longer and thought, this is really nice. Like, I really like this toy.
With you.
And that was because the stickers are bang on what they should be. In fact, I got one of them wrong. I put the Autobot sticker on his nappy instead of his waist because I went with the box art instead of the proper instructions.
Yes, I know the one you mean.
That was the one I messed up.
But I think there's a bit of debate on that one.
I think I checked with Six Night as well. I got a friend to show me the Six Night stickers and I thought, yeah, okay, I've done it wrong. And you've got to admit when you do it wrong, you just go with it. But that's why I liked the stickering, because it gave me control over how things looked. It's not because I enjoy stickering. It's hugely stressful. And I've got shaky hands these days as well. And my eyesight has got to the point where if I want to look at something up close, I have to take my glasses off. So I look like such an old man, hunched over this old thing with a pair of tweezers and like a little wipe to make sure it's not dusty, and like my glasses off.
100%.
That's
my wife is very my wife is very supportive and accepting of so much of this hobby, but I don't think there are many moments, such as when I'm stickering a toy, that she's kind of like, what is going on? Honestly, because it's such a process, it's such a thing. That is definitely a moment where she's a bit like...
It takes bloody ages as well, doesn't it? You think, it's got 7 stickers. It takes an hour and a half.
But there's a real anxiety, isn't there, to that? Because there's this feeling of, especially when you like us now and you collectors, you don't want to tarnish a toy before straight out the gate. And I think that's part of the thing I hate about stickers now. I never liked them as a kid for a similar reason, because you've got something, and that's why I like tamper stuff, because that decision's taken out my hands. I can't cock it up, and I think that's it. When you put it on wrong and you've done it. Yeah. But that's, I think just having that decision taken out of my own hands is much easier to deal with if it's wrong in the factory. Like I've got is it Titan's Return Beachcomber, and the Autobot, it's got 2 halves of the Autobot logo on his legs and the car.
That'll be part of the Primes, won't it?
That's the one, yeah. And they're tampoed, but one of them is slightly lower than the other, so they don't line up.
No, nightmare.
That's annoying.
But because I didn't do it, it's never really bothered me that much. I just more laughed at it. But if I had done it, it would have bothered me for ages, like that.
Trax's hood sticker is the one you don't want to screw up, isn't it? You do not want to do that.
They're always the worst, because when you can, even when you do them and you get them level, but it's when there's a slight little gap between them, you can see part of the hood through it.
The Autobot logo on Snarl's head, on his Dynamo head. That's a killer, because there's a little gap as well. Yep. There's like a tiny little, they don't sit completely flush, the buggers. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. So
it's when you get 2 stickers, that are on different sides, but they're like the same sticker, and then you've got to match them up. You've got to make sure they line up.
Yeah, like the Decepticon emblems on Starscream, for example, but even you've got to get the orientation correct. Yeah. And I find that, again, it's the Seekers, because there's no perfect orientation of those Decepticon emblems. Because the way the wings are triangular and obviously kind of have a little curve to the top of them as well, you can kind of tilt them slightly this way or that and be like, it all looks good, and then getting the other one perfect is a nightmare.
Have they not got any sort of panel molding on the wings themselves that you can sort of align the points of the Decepticon sticker in the corner of that one to sort of try
it's the corners. Yeah, it's the corners that help you a little bit, I think, if anything, with those. I remember just talking about, ruining a toy straight out of the gate. I think it was my reissue Gojinrai. You got the little yellow circular stickers on the front of, is it on the front of God Bomber? And I remember, it's like on the chest plate that goes on the front of Gojinrai, isn't it? And I remember one of the
boxer shorts, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, they are. It's like a little boxer shorts. One of the tiny, tiny, tiny little yellow circular stickers. I was applying it with a pair of tweezers, which I always use, especially for tiny stickers, and it just flew off like that. It just kind of went off like that.
No.
So, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I got the one on already, and this one's gone. And I was like, where's it gone? And obviously scrambling around, it's gone in the carpet somewhere. And I was kind of like, under the chair and things like this.
And then you spotted it on your eyelid the following Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. I did find it, I think, in the end. But that was definitely a moment where my wife was just a bit like, what on earth? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
didn't get much sympathy.
It's like, I can't post a photo of this online if it's wrong. It's like, I have to abandon this project and buy another one. I'm not going online with the wrong sticker.
that moment when a little tiny sticker goes flying and you're just like, where? And then it's all of a sudden like going, oh my God, I can't use the other one now that corresponds because it just looks stupid. And you spend all that time crawling around looking for it. It's just
killer, man. Killer
But
stuff.
then some of them, like you said, don't fit. Like reissue Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime I was doing, the stickers that go on their knees, on the cab knees, they're really funny shape, aren't they? They've got the little ears on them. They don't fit. So then you start trimming it, and if you cut the wrong bit and then it gets stuck to the scissors, and you're like, oh my God, why am I doing this? Why didn't I make better life choices? You don't have this with stamps. And so it's just a really stressful thing. But when you get it right, it's so satisfying.
It's that moment when you go, I knew I shouldn't have done this. That's always the part. You put yourself through it. You're like, I'm not doing it. Then you go, right, I'm going to do it. It can't be that bad, surely. And then halfway through and you get it wrong, you're like, I knew it. Why didn't I just listen to myself?
Yeah, 100%. Conversely, sometimes it just goes so right, doesn't it? Like I find that sometimes some toys, it's almost like you can just throw the sticker at it and it just lands perfectly. And you're like, oh, look at that.
It's got a perfect size recess and everything's just bang on.
Gojinrai, actually, aside from the little yellow thing, that incident, I would say that's one of the most fun toys to sticker. All three versions of it, I've loved doing. Fortress Maximus, I loved doing. That was great fun.
I've been really reluctant to bust open the Fort Max stickers because there's so many of them.
It's a proper evening's work, honestly. It's like a dedicated sit down. It's quite the job as well because it's a sizable old thing, obviously, and you've got to twist it this way and that.
Yeah, so it's Fort Max.
It's very good. Got me there. But yeah, no, it's good fun. It's a good evening's entertainment, as is Fort Max.
No reason that should have been that funny. None. But speaking of modding stickers, there's the ones that I've modded, which aren't supposed to be modded. For example, like the Stunticons. Looking at drag strip, got a shout out to Lee Cheney here, who did that whole drag strip thing where he looked at the protos and he looked at the paperwork from the protos and saw that there are sticker parts on the sheet that aren't cut from the factory. But if you want to do it like the proto, the sticky material and the printed material is there. And it's the same with Breakdown, like it's got a little red bit on the roof that you can apply. So doing those was really, really fun. Like you realize there is actually enough sticker material on this sheet to recreate the prototypes, but you've got to be absolutely sure that you do it right because, there's no room for mistakes. You're actually using stuff that isn't cut. And I'm not exactly the most precise person when it comes to cutting. I've never been good at arts and crafts, but that has been a really, really fun thing to do. Yeah,
I love those stories, honestly. And again, absolutely shout out to Lee and shout out to you as well for doing those articles because, I still have my drag strip to do. It's one that, in a way, I feel this funny kind of pressure about getting it right because I do want to do it the way that you've done it.
I can't believe I managed it.
It looks so much better. Yeah,
it looks
so many pitfalls. I had to remove the rub sign. You know what it's like removing a rub sign. It can go very wrong. And it just came off perfectly. And then I just reapplied it on the side like the prototype. And of course I went to Raz and I said, can I have a look at your prototype drag strip, please? And he just did a photo. I was like, yep, that's it, done. So that was so fun. And I must admit, it's been so long since I did something like that. I get those feelings that I'm not sure I can do this again. It's been too long. But it just takes a bit of practice to get back into it. But do you find that you get into these streaks of once you start stickering toys, you do like 3 or 4 in a really short space of time?
100%. Yeah, you just go in little waves, don't you? It's almost like I haven't stickered anything in ages now. Yeah. And I feel like, oh man, I've got a couple to do, I know. But I know that as soon as I do start, I'll just be on a little mission again. Maybe as part of like unpacking the collection and stuff in the new house, I'll kind of do a few more and everything.
Perfect time to do it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, as you're kind of assessing stuff and whatever. So
maybe don't have any more kids.
Sure. Yeah, just to make time for stickering toys.
Yeah, like you were just saying earlier, it's an evening's work. I'll tell you what an evening's work is.
Right.
Sure. I wish I had an evening to sit down and sticker a toy. That would be ideal. I've just got a really lovely Springer in. Most of the stickers are applied. It's just got 4 more left on the sheet. And I'm sitting there thinking, I do not want to pick the wrong time to do this. I have to have time.
Those bumpy ones.
Yeah.
No, the bumpy ones are factory. And that's what makes them so bad, because if they're wrong, that's it. You've got to go repro. But they're fine on this one. They're absolutely fine. It's just the waist stickers and the ones on the small winglets on the outside of the lower legs. That's all that's left to make that Springer perfect.
So is your Springer an 86 or is it a Gold Box Classic?
It's 86, but plastic chest.
Right, interesting. I'll be keen to see how you get on with it, because my Springer was a classic, and I stickered that one up, and it looks great, but man, those stickers do not want to stay adhered. It's probably the worst example I've seen of a G1 toy with peeling stickers.
Worse than sludge.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, and I was going to say the Dinobots have been a mixed bag in that regard, because sludge, as you say, a lot of the stickers peel, and that's what, going back to what you were saying earlier about it's not always just universal that all stickers will wear or whatever, because I've got some G1 toys, the stickers are solid as anything, they are not going to budge, and then others, and it's the fact that it's the same toys repeatedly. Like you mentioned sludge, I've had the same experience with sludge, I know other people have. It's definitely a thing.
Clones, Decepticon clones. Did you get those buggers on the shoulders peeling?
I did, yeah, I did. Absolutely, I did. I have the Takara versions, but absolutely the same thing. I had to use sticker fixer on those to keep them down. But yes, Springer is one that I am going to have to come up with a solution for. It's either going to have to be that they simply come off in favour of some repro labels, which would be a shame, or I'm going to have to find a sticker fixer alternative. Yeah,
because every time you go to it and take it out of the cabinet, they've peeled, and you have to redo them.
Well, taking pictures of the thing is like a total mission, because it's like, rub that one in a little bit, then we go, okay, just adhere that, right, take the picture real quick, that one's come up, hang on, go back, do that one, right, now the original one's come off again, the one on your shoulder as well. It's like, honestly, you've got to kind of apply with like multiple fingers, like pressure to all of them, hold it for kind of 30 seconds or something, then take the picture super fast. There's one picture I took recently, a group shot, which he's in, and I remember doing it so distinctly because it was just such a mission. It was ridiculous.
I did notice something you posted recently had a peeling sticker. I didn't say anything, but I just thought I sympathise. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Backstreet, but it was that kind of style of toy. And it just had a peeling sticker right there. I did one of Retgar. I did a really nice close-up of his head sculpt. And I remember posting the tweet going, and this is Retgar. Oh, crap, the sticker's peeling. Because I actually noticed it when I was editing. You always
spot it after people have started commenting on it, don't you? You're like, oops, but hey-ho, man. It is what it is, isn't it?
My Encore Trailbreaker's like that. Like, every time I take a photo...
That's the worst.
You know when you look through the lens and you take the photo, then you look at the photo and you go, oh, his foot sticker's fallen off again. Oh, his shoulder sticker's... Oh, no, something else has come off. Every time you transform it, the
Encore
stickers
Trailbreaker is terrible for it.
God, yeah. Every sticker, even the ones that there's like no reason they should be, just the flat surfaces, little stickers they should stick on. They're always the worst ones. It's like, why? Why is it like this?
I have, and I'm going to give away a little trade secret now. I have on... Not many, maybe I could count it on one hand, but it has been known, photoshopped a sticker to look like it was stuck down where I've noticed it had peeled afterwards. Because it annoys me, honestly. I do precious little of that kind of stuff because I don't like doing it. It's not something I enjoy doing as such. But I can't remember what it was. I think it was something I'd done a gallery of a while back. It was like, and I'd done a whole gallery or something, and then noticed that one sticker was slightly peeling in all the shots, and it was like, what am I going to do? Honestly, like, am I going to live with it? And it's kind of a shame because it's for an article or whatever. Or am I going to retake it, even though I was like really happy with how these pictures had come out, aside from this one small issue? Or am I just going to correct it? And it was a tiny little correction. It was just simply a question of like almost copying the other side of the sticker or whatever. Do you know what I mean? The duplicate one.
And Sixo will be giving away Black Zarak G1 for the person who can spot which one that was on his social media. Archers on a postcard.
Yeah, good looking. I can't even remember, so I'll be impressed if someone tells me and they get it right. I might not even know myself.
Do you think we're selling this process to anybody with the discussion that we're having so far?
Nah, I think people are just like, give me tempos.
I'm just looking forward to the people who have just heard you say Black Zarak and are already tweeting, did you know it's got GPS?
Yeah.
They crumble to dust.
I baited a little bit of that the other day. I just put a picture going, what word comes to mind? And a lot of GPS responsibility.
That's why I put amazing deliberately, because I knew it'd be the one person who didn't put GPS, because then I looked down, scrolled down, and just saw every single person.
Yeah.
Yes.
I put yes.
You were one of the few that didn't mention GPS. Because
that's what your reaction should be. You should see that toy and go, yes! You know.
Yeah. It was a mixture of GPS or something related to bank balance. It's fair to
dust.
say it was or dust was one. Even though it doesn't have any dust. The funny one was the people saying broken, and it's like it's not actually broken. I don't know what to tell you, but it's funny, isn't it? Funny.
It's like someone seeing a picture of a cake and going eaten. It's like it's still here. It's not.
It's exactly that.
One piece.
It's exactly that. Mouldy.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. I don't know.
Calories.
Fat.
Butter.
Butter.
Croissant.
I guess on that note, it's probably an interesting train of thought about stickers because, you know, if it's gold plastic, people are very attuned to it, of kind of knowing the pitfalls of gold plastic and, you know, all the problems that come with it. Clear plastic, kind of the same. Yellowing, the same. All of these things. But stickers or stickering doesn't really get the same bad rep, does it? Which is funny because actually there's a lot that can go wrong with stickering, which we're kind of identifying. But like, I never see it online. People are never like, "Oh, the stickers on that," or you know, it just doesn't.
No, I did have one of those comments once, and it wasn't that long ago. I showed a picture of my Mexican hoist, and Mexican hoist has a Trailbreaker head in green, so it's a really unique variant, very very fun. And it's not common anymore. Once upon a time, you could find them in the UK, but now they're very expensive toys. I found one for 40 quid, which is one less zero than my last boxed one sold for.
Nice.
So I thought, I'm buying that. And it's got authentic Mexican stickers. You can't reproduce those. They're of different stock. And the Autobot sticker is completely wonky. And someone posted and said, I can't believe you're living with that. And I can't believe that you're just okay with that. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? You know, I'm not going to replace an authentic variant sticker, and it was 40 quid. Like, not everything in my collection is perfect. Certainly not as time passes.
But I think and with variants like that, you're not gonna repro them, or that would be a travesty. No. It's a bit like my Seiji Prime. I remember we talked about it at the time, and I said, well, it's not perfect, but it's the original Redfoot variant. You're not going to rip the stickers off it and put on a set of repros. That would be an awful thing to do.
What are you going to do with your Pepsi Optimus Prime, which has got a wonky trailer sticker?
Right.
You repro that. It's just some things you take as they come. Exactly.
Yeah, I like having perfect stickers, but I think if it's a rare variant, it would be like getting a red slag or something like that. You're going to live with it as it is, aren't you? That's the thing.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Okay, well, it's that time for the bit of the pod where we talk about our sponsor, and it is, of course, tfsource.com for all your Transformers and third-party needs and Diaclone needs and whatever other needs.
We should do a TF Source jingle. Don't you think we should have a TF Source jingle?
What, and the three of us sing?
Yeah.
We could do that. You write it, we'll sing it.
Old-style kind of bumper from a G.I. Joe cartoon or a Transformers cartoon, something really catchy.
Like TF Source, like that kind of thing.
You know, I reckon we should contact Shuki Levy, who did all those amazing theme tunes for the 80s, like Jason the Wheeled Warriors, Ulysses 31, and he should do like a theme.
Ninja Turtles, it'd be like TF Source. I was thinking like, the cricket song, like TF Source.
Okay, that's the one. There it is. All right. Well, yeah, drop him a note, mate. Drop him a DM.
Yep.
See if he comes back to you. Maybe. But yeah, failing that, and for now it could just be us rabbiting on as normal. But yeah, just checking out their page, having a look at what's in stock.
Is that rabbit or rarebit? I didn't catch it.
Rarebit, yeah, rarebitting on, indeed. Don't do that, because I thought Liam won't be able to do it otherwise.
I now know what it is. It's a very recent thing, but I now know that I'm allowed to eat it. It's not rabbits.
My God. That's going to come back again and again, isn't it?
Yep.
Not as bad as the horseradish thing, but the rabbit.
I don't know, man. Anyway, I did notice the old toilet pots are in stock now, Liam.
Oh my gosh.
So did everyone else in Liam's mentions.
This is my life now. All my DMs and like comments. Every time I log into any social media, I'm just tagged in things, jokes about toilets. It's like,
so Toybox Soapbox again, isn't it?
Yeah. I literally only have that one Ghostbusters one.
That's how it starts, mate.
Yep.
So what has caught your eye?
For me, it is the Doctor Who Blue Thunder and Skyglider set. I don't know if you guys have seen these. It's a Micromaster sized Thundercracker and Power Glide. I don't know if you've seen those guys.
Sounds great.
All right,
Where is it?
It's under TF Source, third party figures, other third party. It's if you type in DWE12, you'll see it then, or even just Skyglider, I guess.
Does that mean you really haven't made it if you're under other third party on this website now?
I think it's Doctor Who, isn't he? He's very catch-all. There used to be upgrade kits, but he's been doing these. Or I say he, I assume it's.
And he is a real doctor, isn't he? Well, then I heard this in the Phantom a little while ago. He's actually a real doctor.
Was it not the villain in Black Dynamite, the fiendish Doctor Wu? That's how I picture him now. It's just as a movie villain. But he's been doing this this like series of little Micromaster-sized toys of like Optimus Prime, Soundwave, those sort of things.
They look great. They look so cool.
But they're all quite articulate. They're really articulated for what they are, but they're tiny. They're fantastic.
And they're the size of Micromasters.
Yeah, but there's an Optimus with
inches.
a trailer and everything. So can you imagine what these would look like? They're almost like like the world's smallest TFs. It's like a replacement for like the modern bases and stuff.
They look so good. Honestly, that Thundercracker. I mean, it looks better than MP11.
That's what I mean. I can't fathom how they've managed to do this. It's such a tiny scale.
I've said this before, but it's a bit like that with all the Legends stuff now. That honestly, I think if it had come out at the same time as, Masterpiece started to become like a thing, I honestly think a lot of people would have got on the small bandwagon, because just the amount of space that you save, if nothing else, it's just
I've
ridiculous.
just found them. They look amazing.
They really do.
There's a Skywarp as well and a blaster.
Yeah. There's a Soundwave. The Soundwave is amazing, and he's got a little tape in him as well. But he did I think it started with the Beast Box. He did the tapes for the Siege Soundwave and that at that same sort of size, and from there it's sort of sprung. But there's a Galvatron. But the Optimus Prime looks like, if you didn't know it was that tiny, you wouldn't know. At first glance, if you know what I mean. But then you see he's posed it on like the Micromaster bases, from Siege. Earwave, those kind of guys. This is the stuff that I think is really amazing, like that they've been able to shrink stuff down to this scale. It's very inventive.
Fantastic. All right, yeah, good shout. Maz, how about you?
Yukikaze.
Oh, I knew you were going to say it.
It's Trainbot number 3. I'm in now. I've pre-ordered Shuki, so I'm in on the Trainbots.
Shuki Levy.
Yeah, well,
you're on board.
Yes, I'm on board. And
you've got to stay on track.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, I didn't want to derail your...
Which is exactly what you've done. It's precisely what we've done, Croissant Boy. Anyway. No, that's it. I've lost the track. I didn't even mean to say that. Sorry.
He's got you.
The third Trainbot, the green bullet train. It's due in 2023.
It's due. It's not going to be delayed.
Oh, stop now.
It's not Network Rail, mate. It's a bullet train. They don't do delays, all right?
I didn't realise it was 23.
I think, remember we talked about this in the Trainformers minisode, and the plan is that they're going to roll these out over 2 years. I said roll out. Over 2 years. And so, the first two are coming in the next couple of months, and then this one. And did you see the introductory video they did for it? It's like
it's incredible.
Promo videos they did for Diaclone. It's just fantastic. Yeah. Sold.
There's clearly a lot of love going into it. I mean, I did think to myself, there's no way that you personally cannot get these, because, you would have just been kicking yourself for years to come, I think, at that point. So.
And did you see that picture today of MP Shuki? The cockpit has seats the size of Dianauts.
I did see that.
Sold beyond sold. It's just, that's it. It's perfect. And that Raiden head that comes with the third Trainbot is pure Diaclone. It's pure Diaclone.
The head, actually, I really like what they're going with it, because it's not animation accurate. And a lot of people have talked about the proportions of the combined mode that we've seen and things like that. I'm well into it. Honestly, I like the fact that it's not, some lean, like ultra humanoid thing. I like the fact that it's a bit bulky and whatever else. It looks more like a 1980s train robo, and I'm bang into that. I like where they're going with it.
Same. I'm so sold. And every single one that comes out, I get more sold. And I can't wait for them to show off the arm bots, because those guys should be really special.
Is it only one transformation, or is it separate parts?
I think it must be separate parts. I think it must be.
Oh, do you mean like add-on parts to them?
Yeah.
Parts forming.
I'm not sure,
for the
because
combined mode.
They do the promo pictures where they show every single part that comes with a particular release. I'm not sure I remember the chest piece being a separate piece. Like, are they not integrated?
Well, maybe. I'm just thinking of the hands and stuff like that. We haven't obviously seen any of the arms yet, but
No.
the
head is separate, at least. That's true, actually, because the head is completely separate.
I mean, obviously the feet are integrated because it's part of the trains.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll see. It'll be the hands that'll be the real tell, because integrating a combined mode hand into the main bot will be a real thing. But if anybody can do it justice, pretty sure it'll be old Tactom, to be fair to them. So
looking forward to this set landing now. I'm really excited for it now that I'm in on it.
Hopefully they keep on chugging along.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, I think for my part, I mean, actually, I was going to say Yukikaze if you didn't mention it. I'm also really looking forward to Skyfire MP57, I think it is.
Correct. Yeah.
Absolutely blown away by it. I'm halfway through writing an article on it as we speak, and honestly, the more I read about it, the more I see videos of it, I just think it's incredible. And just the amount of play value that comes with the 3 little figures alone, the little minifigures, absolutely outstanding, honestly. And like,
transformation looks great too. Really straightforward and fun.
Really straightforward. It kind of makes me laugh, because I kind of feel like Masterpiece is kind of in its, not to make a weird comparison, but like after Endgame in the MCU, people are like, oh, it's kind of over now. It's like, what's it doing? But actually, there's loads of cool stuff still in the MCU. You just kind of got to look for it. And I kind of feel like Masterpiece is in that sort of era now, where it's like, it's sort of spun off into lots of different directions, and some people are a bit like, oh, it's over or whatever. It's not a thing anymore.
Those people need to buy a reboost.
Right, exactly. Like,
I'm not sure I've had a better Masterpiece car. I think it's my favourite Masterpiece car. It's doing so much
cool stuff. It's doing some of the best toys that I've ever seen it do in years. You just got to kind of look for it or whatever, So it's not just doing this uniform. Each toy is from this lineup or whatever anymore. That's all, and I kind of like that.
I love that the Skyfire pictures sell it as a toy as well. It looks so playful. The way they even posed it with the little minifigures and stuff like that. It just looked really joyful. Every part of it's like, oh man, I just really want to play with this. It just looks like a lot of fun. It looks amazing.
I have to say I'm disappointed with the head sculpt though. The face sculpt just not quite there. I think even Phoenix did a better job, and the Generations toys have done a better job of that face sculpt. That's the only thing stopping me making the purchase.
You're not the only person I've seen making that comment, so fair enough. It's obviously not capturing absolutely everybody's, love, as it were. So I'm into it though. I don't mind the face sculpt at all, and I'll judge it in hand. But yeah, so be interesting to see. And I was just going to give a quick mention, actually, talking about fans' toys. To Outrider, which is their Trailbreaker, which has just come in stock.
65 million years in the making.
Well, that's why I mention it. If anything, it's just hilarious to me, because Fans Toys, man, they've been trying to get this bloody thing off the ground since 2016. It was first teased. I mean, 6 years of development. That some people have had it on pre-order. Not necessarily TF Source, but there were pre-orders at the time in 2016, I think it was, going live. And people have had it on pre-order for that amount of time, and it's finally here. People have it in hand, and they've just blooming announced a masterpiece, haven't they? So it's just kind of funny to me. That's all. But,
I'm really glad. Yeah, I'm really glad Fans Toys did get it out for the people who wanted it as well.
Absolutely,
it's nice for those guys who were super into that.
And it looks nice. It does look good, and there will be people that will prefer it to the Takara one, of course. And it does look really good. I'm excited about it all the same. It's just funny to me that Trailbreaker has been one of those characters that I think has had so many third-party attempts. Very few of them have really nailed it or like come close to nailing it. There's been some real, mixed bag, I would say. And Fans Toys,
put it mildly, yeah.
Yeah. And Fans Toys looks like the one that actually is going to be probably the best third party. I say that just based on pictures and what I've seen so far, and then the official ones around the corner as well. So it's just one of those.
I think when somebody does a third party masterpiece style, like the toy, not just with the head, but the toy style body, I think that's going to like really turn heads. And if that ever happens, like with the proportions and all the same features on that, I think that's what I really want to see now. There's like that
it would have to be a new mold. It would have to be, because the people have done it with the head, but it's just whacking the head on a cartoon body, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, well, anyway, that's our look at tfsauce.com. So do check them out.
Sauce.
Ole, ole.
There you go. We're gonna do it now. Next time, get some instruments in and whatever, and we'll give it a bash.
We're like Red Dwarf. It's like we're tongue tied, but with TF sauce. Flurby.
We're gonna do a music video as well. We're gonna do choreography. Nobody needs to see us doing that.
That's TFN. That's what we're coming out as, like Red Dwarf. That's it to tongue tied.
Anyway, do check them out. tfsauce.com for your Transformers and third party needs.
We now return to the Transformers.
Okay, so back on topic with stickering, and I think we've kind of already covered what is typically our process and things like that, unless there's anything new to add on that score, gents.
I think the only thing I didn't mention was that if I am putting a sticker on a surface, I'll make sure that surface is completely dust free. I know some people also wash it or use like a fragrance-free baby wipe or something like that, maybe with a bit of water and soap, just to make sure that surface has no dust, is completely clean, and then it dries, and then they'll put the sticker on that. I just use the little microfiber thing that comes with glasses, and I just make sure that the surface has got no dust on it before I put a sticker on. I do that with Lego as well, just to make sure the Lego stickers, because Lego obviously comes with loads of stickers now, and that's the whole process too.
Do you not use your makeup duster?
I do, actually. My makeup brush. Yes, I've got the full-on fat one, and I've got the really fine one now as well. Absolutely, yeah. Triple makeover.
There it is.
Indeed, there it is. Do you know, it's funny because actually baby wipes are really good for getting rid of stickers as well. Like if you really want to kind of get rid of some of the residue and that, I've found that's really useful. And I know you can get stuff like Glue Gone and things like that, but I'm always a little bit wary of...
is in the US. You should be wary. We have one in the UK, which is sticky stuff remover. They sell it at Tesco. That stuff is really bad in terms of you shouldn't be near it for too long. It's great on toys, but if you put it on a painted surface, it will take paint off, and I wouldn't dare try it on chrome. But on a non-painted surface, I've used it with great effects, and you have to leave it for the amount of time that it says. Don't take it off early. You just soak the residue in this stuff. You just leave it, make sure it's not dripping anywhere, just dry the edges, and then leave it for, I think it's like sometimes up to 10 minutes. Then you come back and you take the residue off really easily. And I've used that to great effect, but man, it smells terrible, and you should do it near an open window. And that's not a fun experience. So if it works with baby wipes, go that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, baby wipes don't get rid of the residue or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you still got to use the old elbow grease to get rid of them. But I've just found that it's
digging a nail.
Exactly. So, I mean, if the Glue Gone or whatever it's called, sticky stuff remover, if that works too. I have used it on other stuff. Just I've always been wary of using it on toys.
Yeah, of course. And you should always peel off the top foil layer of the sticker first. It's just the papery residue that you use this stuff on. So that was part of the process that we didn't mention. I also do notice that with some of the vintage sticker sheets I've used, the stickers do peel a little bit, but after the second or third time of fixing them back on, they've never peeled again. My ape face was like that. It peeled. And I asked a couple of experienced dealers, like, what do you do with peeling stickers, especially if they're freshly applied? And one person actually suggested putting them in the fridge. He said that would help after you've reapplied them and stuck them down, stick them in the fridge overnight, and then it'll be fine. Can't say I tried it. Instead, I just stuck them down repeatedly and it stuck eventually. But there are some things that will never stick, like the ones that go around curved or angled surfaces. Things like Ironhide and Ratchet's cannon in the trailer on Encore is terrible. Traxxas launchers, the ones that go around the edge of Traxxas launchers will always peel.
Yes, always peel those ones. But of course, if you are having trouble with vintage stickers or whatever, there is also the repro option, which works for a lot of people. And I think it has to be said, in case it's not clear, I do think that Toy Hacks is bloody awesome, actually. I think the stickers they provide are really good quality. I think that the repro stuff that they do is top drawer, honestly. Like, you know, it's to the point where you possibly can spot it if you know what you're looking for in pictures or whatever. You know, you sometimes can tell, but it's as good as or whatever as having vintage stickers sometimes, I think. But Maz, I know you're not one to use repros necessarily, are you?
And it's got nothing to do with the quality, because I've been a huge supporter of repro labels in the past, which became Toy Hacks. I used to chat with Aaron Black, who founded it, in a news group for a while there, and he was a member of our group. Just would log in and chat, shoot the crap about Transformers. So I love what he does, and I used to get sets from him to do custom toys like Frost Rod and Evil Jazz or Police Jazz. I love their work, and I actually saw my old customs to see how far they've come from having really thick stickers that have now yellowed to having really amazing sets that are almost precisely like the vintage, and probably in most cases better. They probably adhere better. They probably fit better.
They do, yeah. That is one thing I would say, and that's why I say in some cases, you know, arguably it's better. They do fit better. You know, they cut them very precisely to the plastic or the molding or whatever, such that you don't get some of the issues that we've already identified, you know, on toys like Ultra Magnus and whatever, where you're like got to cut things out and whatever. And the colours are often more vibrant, or kind of, you don't get that thing that you sometimes get on vintage stickers where the cut is angled slightly differently to the print of the sticker, so that actually you're never going to have it perfect. Like, even if you apply it perfectly, the print is slightly rotated.
That's a real thing, man. That's a real thing. And you just have to pray you don't get one of those stickers. I remember there was a guy selling prototype sticker sheets. He just got a batch from Hasbro, and one of them was an Ultra Magnus sheet that was completely misprinted. Like, it was way off the cut. It was always like upside down, I think. It was so funny. But yeah, you might just end up with a production one like that, and yeah, you going by Toy Hacks, you wouldn't get that. But also,
right, exactly. Their stuff is so precise.
Right. But you don't get the mystery either. You don't get the hidden magic on the sticker sheet where no one has ever spotted that there's a space there. It's not cut by the machine, but there should be a sticker that, like on Dragstrip and on Breakdown, it's right there on sticker sheet, but never used. You're never going to get that with Toy Hacks. And if something like that comes up on a vintage, it's a magic moment. And the thrill of that for me has lasted nearly 4 or 5 years now. I don't know when I did Dragstrip. Maybe it was 3 or 4 years ago. I've not stopped being thrilled by it. And that's something you don't get with Repro.
That's understandable.
One of the things I always pick up with you, Maz, is the mystery of the hobbies. It's always the things that entice you, isn't it? Stuff like that. It's not just stickers, but everything. It's always the slight mystery, like the Diaclone stuff and knowing stuff. It always fascinates me, like with you.
Yeah, and when I can't afford the stuff that other people can afford and they find all the great mysteries, I have to go and dig into another niche which is affordable, like sticker sheets. And I can do sticker sheets until they don't become affordable, and I'll do sprue marks or something. So it's silly and pointless that no one cares about.
If it helps, Maz, I find you a bit of a mystery as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But no, the other thing is, I think it's worth acknowledging that not everyone collects and what have you in the same way, do they? No. So I'm sure, I know that there are a lot of collectors who buy maybe less than pristine vintage and clean them up a bit or whatever. And in that regard, Repro Labels Toy Hacks is wonderful as well, because you can buy even just a fresh set of stickers on a slightly worn toy, strip off the old crap stickers and give it a fresh set, and it looks remarkably much. Such
Didn't Matt Ferguson do that recently? He just he bought a Rodimus Prime that was worn, stripped off, put on a set of Repros, and it looked amazing. And why wouldn't you? If you don't mind about that, it's a toy you're going to keep in your collection forever. Why not?
Right, and it's a lot cheaper doing it that way as well.
Yeah, and there are so many pitfalls with your toys, like you say, like knackered chrome or broken bits and stuff like that. But the stickers are the one things that are replaceable, and quite easily so. It doesn't require, if you're happy to go with Toy Hacks, but even the vintage sheets can often be tracked down. It's hard, but it's not impossible. It's not something that ruins the toy flat out. It's something that can be fixed quite easily. It's not like if a part's broken or, like you say, it's gone yellow or something like that.
The only real advantage with Toy Hacks there is that they obviously do repros for the factory stickers as well. Whereas very often, if the factory stickers are knackered on a particular toy,
that's a big one.
You've had it. You can't get a vintage sheet to replace that. The factory stickers are what they are. So
unless it's like Scourge. Factory stickers are almost always buggered, but then you find the seller on eBay who's got a print of the factory sticker prototype. Then you're fine. Then you're fine.
That's a very normal example. Everybody's done. Who
perfectly
hasn't done
common
that?
thing that could happen.
God, like day one in the fandom. Come on, hello. You're not hitting people up for the prototype of some random sticker sheet from 40 years ago.
And then use it.
All right, noob. You know,
Yeah.
So if you're not going to do that, yes, toy hacks are absolutely the way to go.
if you're not that way inclined.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And why would you be like, why would you introduce stress and expense into a hobby? Like, I can't usually articulate to people very well why I would do it. But yeah, if you just want to have fun and enjoy your hobby, don't let a codger like me tell you not to do that. And I never tell people not to do that. It's just that I want to be really clear when people say, oh, you wouldn't approve. No. It's not about approval. It's just, I don't do it that way. But you see other people enjoy it.
You had one of those today, didn't you? You had someone was like, oh, Maz would hate this or whatever. And I even read it and I was like, no, he wouldn't. He'd be fine
it's true.
with it.
Yeah, you looking at people having fun with their toys is not something I disapprove of. Absolutely. I remember a couple of decades
I remember
ago.
having fun with toys.
What's that like? You know how to not have fun with toys? Move them or store them. That's it. You don't want to. Yeah, the opposite of fun. I used to know a guy who owned a Goodbye Convoy and Goodbye Megatron gift set. And he had taken the vintage poster, this incredible poster, and he put pins through it and stuck it on his wall. And I remember thinking, what have you done? You know, what have you... Couldn't you just get a print? What about blue tack? No, you had to put pins through it. But then, and he used to always apply stickers to toys, and we'd always be like, he's done it again. You know, he's just taken an unused sample and he puts the stickers on. But now I do it. And I can see the appeal. It's just, you know, yeah, there's a finite amount of them. And if you care about that, that's fine. But I like to tell myself I'm doing something productive with them. But I have no problem with people doing
it's the
repros.
experience.
I used to do repros.
It is the experience.
If you didn't do it, you would never have that experience. And so you'd just be missing out on something that you'd want to do for the sake of, I don't even know why.
I think in your case, Maz, you know, you are kind of giving something back a bit as well by photographing them in the way that you do and kind of cataloguing them and everything as well. Do you know what I mean? I think it's as you sort of alluded to earlier, I don't want to say it's like a worthy sacrifice or whatever. I think that's a bit too dramatic, but it's not like you're... Yeah, but you know what I mean. You are kind of you are sharing
excuse.
them as well, so it is sort of something.
And the person who actually suggested this topic as a mini-sode, he did so because he enjoys the act of stickering toys so much. It's actually a part of the hobby that he looks forward to and enjoys. And if you don't have that stress of ruining something valuable or something you've spent ages trying to track down a sticker sheet that isn't available on the market, then yeah, I can imagine that would be really fun. I guess it'd be like stickering a Lego set. It's just fun.
Yeah.
What were you both like as kids though with this? Because I hated it then. Like, you know that moment when you put one on and you get like a crease in it and you're trying to adjust it and it just keeps getting worse. And even as a kid, I hated that.
I didn't even remember that it was me who stickered them. I had spoke to my mum about it a while ago and I said, so did you sticker my toys or did my brother do it? And she goes, no, you did them. I was like, I don't recall stickering any of them.
I don't really, to be honest. So I have seen my boy sticker one or two things. It's quite funny because he's become really into the Decepticon and Autobot emblems you get from Toy Hacks. You know, you get the free ones especially. They send you little free clear ones. And he loves those because all of his other toys now have to be Autobots and Decepticons. He actually said to me in the car on the way home today, he was like, oh, I need some more of your stickers. So, you know, because I'm going to be playing with my Lego and some of them are Decepticons. So, you know, like this. And it's like, it's absolutely hilarious. So lots of other stuff has got little logos on them and things. You find them sometimes.
They do absorb habits from what they see us do with toys.
Oh, man.
I've seen my daughter now using tweezers to put stickers on her Lego set, and I'm thinking, I've done that.
What have I done? Yeah. Well, the other thing that actually it was about a month or two ago. I can't remember what it was, which character, but we were talking about Transformers, and I think I mentioned, because he often says to me, is that an Autobot or a Decepticon? And whatever it was, I think it was like, he's a Decepticon, but he's a nice Decepticon. And this was like brand new, blow his mind information. He was like, hang on, what? A nice Decepticon? And it's become a real thing since, because I had to explain, well, actually, yeah, because some Decepticons, you know, are nice, and some Autobots are actually not so nice, you know, and this sort of blurring of the lines thing has been a real revelation for him. Yeah. So now that, you know, when anything that comes up about, you know, good guys or bad guys or whatever, it's often like, but are they a good guy or are they a bad good guy? And it's like, what have I done? Why have I introduced this complexity to a near 5-year-old that doesn't need it? This layer of like, you know, thinking or whatever. I often think, why did I broach this topic, but it's off now. That's the thing. So
this just leads to a road where he realizes his parents aren't perfect, and that's just no way back from that.
I'm sure he's already realised that. Believe me.
Have you introduced him to sticker books yet? Because I know this is not for this discussion, but this was nothing because I obviously loved sticker books as a kid, but I used to get stressed, getting them in and the angles. Like I was like looking through my old Premier League and Euro 96 sticker book stuff. Even when there's a slight angle, I remember the stress of being able to see the frame, just even the slightest hint of it. I'd be like, afterwards.
I think you do go through that as older. When you're older, obviously, he's too young for that. But yeah, you do go through those little stages, don't you, of like fastidiousness with stuff. But even then, I sometimes wonder if the standards that you remember as a kid are as good as they would be if you saw your work now, if that makes sense. Because honestly, you look at some of your childhood Transformers, is the stickering that good?
No.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, it probably looked really good to you at the time, but even when you're 10 or whatever, you're not going to have the same level of focus.
No tweezers.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get tweezers out, do you? You're not looking at box art reference and whatever else.
Yeah, it's just a funny thing because I always think of sticker books, but they're still going now. But it's associated with because all toys when we were kids had stickers, didn't they? And sticker books were a really massive thing. But now toys don't come with stickers, but sticker books are back, aren't they? Because they disappeared for a while. But they've come back
for sure.
Well, do you remember those compound stickers in the Transformers one where you had 9 of them to stick together, and if you got it misaligned, it's just now it'd be a problem. But back then, I look at my old Panini sticker book and they're not perfectly aligned. The 2 foil halves of Inferno aren't completely aligned.
But it was always that. But you used to get them as well sometimes where you got them and they were, like you were saying about sticker sheets being slightly cut different. And you get one out of a pack and it's one of those sets and it was slightly cut and you had to try and overlap it or something like that. But we had all remember the bubbly sort of stickers you used to get, of just a character that you stick on fridges or doors or anything like that. But I mean, it just feels like such a thing of a certain time, doesn't it? Stickers, a very nostalgic thing.
I think they're definitely back.
Yeah, I was going to say they're kind of making a comeback, aren't they? A little bit with some new toys as well. Even that Generation Select Cyclonus and stuff at the moment has got some stickers with it. There's been a few examples. A couple of Masterpiece things have had stickers with it of late.
They weren't great. The Shockwave, the Laser Wave, and the Inferno ones. And the Ratchet ones. You remember with the Red Cross that wasn't a Red Cross, and you had to trim it to make it like the official Red Cross because they weren't allowed to.
Oh yeah,
I got that wrong, and I've just got to say thank you to Becca on Twitter who sent me her sheet because she didn't use those ones because I cut the cross wrong and it antagonized me. She sent me that.
I think I did the same. I think I messed up mine and someone sent me the ones they didn't want to use.
Yeah.
It's a real thing because you're trying to cut them.
I think I remember you doing it and saying, I've done that too.
Yeah. No, it's the same. I had the same thing. Shame on me. I don't remember who was kind enough to send them to me, but I messed up the Laser Wave ones as well. I think just trying to cut them out.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have to cut out the Laser Wave ones?
I think it just... Man, you got me wondering why I cut it out at all now. I must be thinking of the Ratchet ones. I must be thinking of that.
I don't recall the Laser Wave ones being cut out. I could be wrong. But it's got to be said that I've never, not that I can remember, never enjoyed stickering up a Masterpiece toy. Why would you? It's not the kind of thing, is it?
Well, Smokescreen with the Toy Hack set was great.
Okay.
That was fantastic.
Well, you got it pre-stickered, didn't you? Or did you not? No. I sold you the sticker sheet, did I not? Or did I put the sticker on?
I think you'd done some of the stickers and then I just customized the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was past. You're absolutely right. I got it from you.
Yeah, you got it from me.
Good lad.
Yeah. Because I had a Smokescreen and then I thought, I'm going to cover this in stickers. And then for some reason decided that wasn't what I wanted. So but you were really into it, I remember. Yeah. So I gave it to you but I think there was at least half the sticker sheet unapplied. Still.
Yeah, so. It was good. I did the Wheeljack as well, the Masterpiece Wheeljack with the ocean labels.
Oh, yeah.
Were they official? Were they not official? I can never tell.
No, they weren't, were they? I think they were. Were they not? Oh, no, were the ocean ones the official ones? Yeah.
Ocean, I think were.
Oh, no.
They were.
I couldn't tell you.
Was the ocean one? Was this not the one where people thought they were, and then it turned out they weren't?
It came in a packet that said Transformers on it with the logo and everything. It came out in Asia, and that's where we got them.
Yeah, because there was some I think that came out that were marketed and they looked official, and then it was discovered a while later they weren't, or there was some controversy around it. So maybe they were.
No, I'm wondering now. I thought the ocean decals were official. I got to tell you.
Maybe they were because I remember there were a few kits for exhaust, but they weren't official. But I'm sure it was the ocean ones where there was some debate on whether they were official or not.
I think you're right, yeah.
But
I still don't
official.
know to this day. They look great. I remember doing up Wheeljack with all the racing stickers, and it looked divine. Really, really great. And I really enjoyed doing that.
Official or not, ocean decals generally are really good, actually. And I really liked, once upon a time, doing some of their dry rub logos for like third-party figures and things like that.
Yeah,
for
you did
Autobot
Hounds,
logos.
didn't you?
I remember doing it in the pub. I remember sitting there.
Yeah, you did it for my gun dog.
Yeah. In a bloody middle central London pub, sitting there doing a dry rub decal for your gun dog. It was fun. No pressure.
No. I remember getting Kit to coat the chrome on my MP28 as well.
On your hot rod.
Do you just take your toys to the pub to get other people to sort them out for you? Is this
He does.
while you're sat in a corner drinking beer? It's like,
I've broken it.
Yeah.
This is El Plan.
Yeah, indeed. Back in the days of pubs.
Yeah.
The dry rub ones and stuff, it was good. The only thing with those is that they are essentially permanent, short of like scratching them off. Not permanent, but like they're total pain to remove if you got it wrong or whatever. So there's a slight bit of pressure there. And then you get water slides that they do and stuff as well, but sort of same thing. So, but they are worth a look for people that I do think that they've got that kind of, like they look a little bit less like stickers once they're on, which is good. So if you're into that, then that's definitely an option.
You're not going to get peeling corners.
No, exactly. So, and if it's a toy that you're definitely going to hang on to and you know exactly where you want the emblem and stuff like that, then it's definitely a good option. But I got to say though, generally these days, I'm pretty crap at putting emblems on a lot of my third-party stuff. I just don't get around to it. So
I never did either, but I'm looking at that Meg Tyranno from Fans Hobby, and he really needs the Decepticon stickers on those shoulders. It's just a big old plain space, and I don't know which ones to get, like which one would be the perfect one to use, but that's definitely one I would love to stick around.
Probably just one of the standard Toy Hacks emblems, honestly. They're really good. Even the free ones that you get are great, actually. Just like clear black little free sets that you get of emblems and stuff. They're really, really good. And it's funny actually talking about third party, because it is worth mentioning just briefly, because I'm just actually looking in, of the handful of toys that I've got unpacked at the moment, having moved. One is Scoria, Fans Toys Scoria. And it's a good example because it's got what I don't like, which is the little molded plastic or whatever space in the shape of the decal that you're supposed to put there.
Is it the wrong size?
It's for every decal out there.
The wrong
is
bloody
the wrong size,
or it doesn't fit the emblem perfectly, or whatever. It drives me potty. Honestly, I'm like, why have you done
one
this?
job?
Just leave a smooth space. Just leave it blank. A smooth space is fine. I can put the decal on myself.
You were just saying it's one of the few toys you've unpacked. I picture your collection being moved like that massive container ship that blocked the Suez Canal. Is that kind of what's going on? Was it the Evergreen or the Forever Green? I can't remember what it was called.
It definitely was not like that, I can tell you. It was a lot of very small boxes, actually, I think, was probably more.
Come on, Sixo, unblock the Suez already.
Well, maybe later, eh?
He'll do a dry rub later.
Right, exactly. Thank you very much.
Getting out the power glide again, are we?
Definitely more on that later.
Yes.
Don't start on the old power glide again, otherwise we'll be here all night, honestly. But yeah, no, it does bother me, those little third-party nubs or whatever that they kind of give you. I think it's so silly. Just leave a blank space.
But also, speaking of Masterpiece, I loved that Tiger Track came with the choice. You could put on the sticker or not. And I'm looking at Crosscut thinking, that is an awfully big Autobot logo on the hood of a toy, which is a Diaclone homage. I would love if that was a choice, because that's the one thing I don't like about Masterpiece Crosscut. It's that big emblem.
They've moved away from that now, totally. They don't do that anymore, for sure. So, which I wonder why, because it was a cool option, but I guess they've just kind of moved into this arena of them all being sentient Transformers characters now, as opposed to anything else.
G2 Sideswipe come with stickers as well.
Yep,
he did.
Yeah, because I don't think I never applied mine, and I always
regret
regret
Road Rage.
Yeah.
Loud pedal. I mean, that was wonderful because you could actually apply Road Rage's stickers, and Road Rage was like the cheapest Masterpiece going for a while there. I remember I got an extra one and got the sticker sheet and put it on Loud Pedal to make it look like a proper Diaclone, and that was brilliant fun. Again, a bit stressful getting it all lined up on the track's hood because it's split in half. But yeah, it's a shame if they don't do stuff like that anymore.
Little D's on the wings and things like that, right? Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's cool.
Great sticker sheet.
So I actually have two Masterpiece G2 side swipes that have one stickered up and one not. I just wish it would be perfect if you could get like another Red Alert head and change the head, because he's got the Derek Yaniger head. And I just wish that there was like a G2 toy styled, like a normal head, as it were, not a Yaniger head, because it would be perfect. Because in car mode, it looks amazing with the stickers on, honestly.
Those green stickers on that original toy and on that, they make such a difference. They just set that whole thing off. Because the black and red Countach is beautiful anyway, but with those green stickers, it just takes it it makes it a different thing, because whereas the Lamborghini Countach is such an iconic car anyway, but you've already got Sideswipe, all these that do a perfect job of looking like a real car.
Yeah.
The G2 one version wins so much because it's just covered in those green letters. It's beautiful. Crazy.
It's funny with the Masterpiece because actually it looks nice both ways, and that's kind of in the end why I opted to have two, because I was like, I just couldn't decide. I was like, I really want to see it with the stickers, but I don't want to lose how cool the plain one is as well, which I guess kind of brings us on to, I mean, we mentioned Ghost Starscream earlier, but like toys that you wouldn't sticker, for example, because I definitely have a few.
Yes, Clear Hot Rod is another one I wouldn't do. Shining Magnus.
Would you sticker the cab, or you wouldn't sticker any of it?
None of it.
Oh, really?
I don't know about the cab, actually, maybe. Well, especially because those shoulder stickers on the cab, like we were talking about earlier, you've got those studs, that'd just be a bit of a disaster. And then you'd have to recut the ones for the legs as well. No. I'm just not doing it. No, never again.
Not doing it. That's it. No. Black Hot Rod for me. G-Watt Black Hot Rod.
Yeah, because it comes with the chest sticker, doesn't it? It comes with an actual sticker sheet version of the chest sticker. Yeah,
but it just looks so nice without the stickers on. Yeah. That's one actually that I do and ah on, because sometimes I see a picture with the stickers and I think, oh, that looks pretty good. Actually.
That's one to get an extra copy of. Do it with.
Well, it's not an easy one to necessarily get an extra copy of, but
no.
What's the other one I was thinking of recently as well? Black Tracks is another one for me that I wouldn't sticker.
I stickered mine up.
Yeah,
looks
you did,
amazing. You? I'm not joking. It looks amazing. And I remember even Paul Hitchens was saying to me, I wasn't in favour of you doing that, but I've seen the pictures now and it looks incredible. It's so beautiful with the stickers applied. I would thoroughly recommend it, although that is not a toy that can now be replaced. If you don't get it right.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, maybe in that case, it's almost worth putting on a set of repros, and just keeping the sticker sheet as such. I mean, that is actually, to be fair, that is what I did with my Star Saber.
The sticker sheet for that is the same as the regular reissue track sticker
which
sheet.
Is true. I guess you could always just replace the sticker sheet. Yeah. So, but yeah, you could take the stickers off. But I did do that with my Star Saber as well, which I'm sure some people would think is, a bit controversial. But it was the fact that I got my Star Saber with an unused sticker sheet and it was pristine.
Mm-hmm.
And it just to me seemed like this is not a regular thing. In this case, that toy, that sticker sheet, that clean sticker sheet is kind of a thing of its own, and it just I didn't want to destroy that, so it just seemed to me to be a good choice in that case to put repros on the toy and keep the sticker sheet, and that's what I've done.
Can't be that many unused Star Saber sticker sheets out there now.
I thought about it. I remember thinking about it, and it just seemed like a really bad choice to take the stickers off that particular sheet. It just felt like, as you say, there can't be that many out there, and it would be a shame. And as it happens, the stickers look amazing. So, good job from Toy Hacks, and I'm happy.
But at the same time, I have bought Hasbro sticker sheets loose with the purpose of stickering up a vintage toy that I have, which needs improvements. Like Trigger Happy, for example. I have a lovely Trigger Happy, but the stickers are all messed up. There's even sellotape on them. But I got the sticker sheet finally. It took me 7 years to find it, unused. And now I find myself thinking, I don't think I want to apply them. What if this Trigger Happy yellows like the last one did?
And now mine went a really horrible yellow, that toy did.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, actually, you know what? I'm just going to not... And I've got 2 Slugslinger sticker sheets because I ended up in the same boat with that one. And I was like, I'm going to use it on this new Slugslinger I brought with the perfect boob chrome. And then it turns up and the feet, one half of it is yellowed and the other half is... And I'm thinking, well, this isn't my forever Slugslinger. So I'm going to wait with the sticker sheets.
None of them are they?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there is. That's a myth, mate. The forever Slugslinger is like...
But yours is perfect, isn't it?
Well... what can I say?
Same thing you always say.
What do I always say?
Well, something Kermity.
I just got lucky with that one. I don't know. What can I tell you?
That's what he always says. That's the thing he says.
That's actually right.
I was at some guy's house.
Actually, no,
country lane.
A slug slinger I got from a bloke that I got chatting with on eBay.
Classic Sixo.
Yeah, I think it was the same guy that I got Swoop off. I can't remember. Lovely guy, like really nice guy. He's on TFW.
You met his dad as well, didn't you? His dad was great too.
No.
I feel like we hear this story all of the time from Sixo with every toy he buys from every person he meets. It's like, oh, he's a lovely guy. And then I was buying this other thing, and he was like, I'm just going to throw in this other thing for
What about the dude who was
20p?
painting his house the other day? He was painting his house, and then turns up and goes, "Are you Sixo?"
Oh, I couldn't believe that. Honestly, it was hilarious. It was like, he wants to see Unicron now. I haven't unpacked it yet, but it's...
I was waiting for the punchline of that story to be, and the other day in my loft, I found this vintage toy my dad bought me from Japan, and it's like a mint in box Black Zarek or something. Do you want it for £20? Or
Yes.
a Dino Force?
No, nothing like that.
Just for a signed photo.
I do find with vintage collecting, it always pays to ask people, like even if it's on eBay, to just say to people,
What else have you got?
Got anything else?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely
and
right.
And sometimes they do. Sometimes they're like, yeah, actually, like if it's something that you're buying something that's like incredibly well priced and amazing quality, just ask. And then sometimes they're like, yeah, I've got a box slug slinger, mate. It's like a tenner. And it wasn't, but it's like that.
It was 11. It was 11
Yeah,
pounds.
exactly.
That goes the other way for me. Like that other week when I was trying to buy that Red Alert, and I inquired about it, and then the next thing I got from the message from the guy saying he put the price up by £10 because the exact opposite way for me. Yeah, I was like, can I just have some more pictures? He's like, oh yeah, I've put the price up now. Thanks. Yeah.
But anyway, there was one thing I wanted to mention. Coming back to this thing of modern toys, or kind of more modern toys and stickers, because I think there's some more stuff to kind of cover there a little bit, isn't there? Because we've sort of established that, obviously Masterpiece, yes, has kind of gone down that road at times. There have been obviously other more mainline toys that have done it as well, which I have not enjoyed. Pretty categorically, fair to say.
There was like a mini resurgence when the Masterpiece toys were doing it, because they were doing it with Titan's Return and stuff like that as well, weren't they? They were bringing back stickers.
Yeah. Power of the Primes as well.
Yeah, but it was a mixed bag because the stickers were of terrible quality, but they were saying, we brought them back for nostalgic reasons, but they'd already applied them, so you weren't getting on some of the toys. They were already coming that way, or they were peeling off. But they were that horrible thin foil.
The foil ones, yeah. The one I really did not enjoy was Predaking. Power of the Prime's Predaking. It was just, they look great when they're on, but...
Those wing stickers.
Yeah, they refuse to stick down properly, like around the edges. They don't fit exactly right. Like they're a little bit too large in places, so they obviously kind of curl. And they rip as well, like even taking them off the sheet. And I was just a bit disappointed with that.
What was Titan's Return... I was just going to ask, Titan's Return Triptychon, what was that like?
This was an absolute hellscape because oh my god, those stickers. But they're all thin anyway, but there are some on the legs and they are almost like lightning bolts, but they're really long and they're really thin, so they kind of go like that shape. But you have to fit them into like quite a deep groove, and obviously they're thin, so they start rolling up and pitch straight away. And they crease because you get them in and they're just so thin, and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Really stressful, horrible experience.
Just reminded me of another tool I used for stickering to avoid that, and that's a Q-tip. Like once you put one end of the sticker down, sometimes releasing it from the tweezers just moves it a little bit out of place, and you sort of use the Q-tip to hold the end of it down and then release it with the... God, we're sad.
But this is such a problem, isn't it? Sometimes when you're putting a sticker down and it looks like it's in place, and suddenly you notice it's like it starts angling away from where you
just stop now, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
So it's that's the absolute zenith, isn't it, of this conversation? Just I also use a Q-tip. All
right, you guys made fun of my makeup brush, and now you're brandishing your own makeup brushes and informing other people on social media that you use makeup brushes.
Mate, I use a Q-tip too. I'm not in any position to criticise. What am I going to say? I agree, it's a pretty essential bit. I'm brandishing my makeup brush right now as well.
You have been wafting that about a lot tonight. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gesturing with it. Do you know what I mean? I like to keep it nearby in case there's any dust.
You said waft. Isn't it waft?
Well, it's a bit like patron or patron, isn't it? I don't know.
You said something the other day. You said
waff.
You said wafer thin. Isn't it wafer thin?
It's wafer thin, yeah. Is this like rough and roof?
Wafer thin is a particular reference to a comedy sketch.
I see. You did.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm definitely in the wafer camp. Bit of those Pink Panther wafers.
Is it from Phone Shop?
No, it's not Phone Shop. No, it's the old Mr. Creosote sketch, the old wafer thin biscuit or whatever. Not seen that?
No.
I'll send you a link. You're in for a treat.
Fantastic.
We're talking about stickering from the collector perspective, being kids, nostalgia, all of that. But what do you guys think going forward for the future? Because we've seen Hasbro, we just talked about them, and Takara have tried to bring it back, but then they've moved away from it again. And we've seen it in reissues, some not quite so good. And I just wonder, do you think it's something we are likely to see make a real comeback in the future? Do you think or is it just going to be a collector-y thing?
I can't see it on mainline toys as a standard thing anymore. No. But definitely like Generation Select, that's a good forum for it.
So you think very collector targeted then?
I think so. I think it's very associated with collector maintenance and doing it perfectly, because history has shown that it's just one more active way for you to screw up your toy. So there are so many examples, so many specimens that, sometimes the stickers are off-putting and that now they're painted or tampoed or just optional. So I don't see it for mainline toys. I see it as a novelty thing for collector-aimed product, as far as Transformers is concerned. But with Lego, it's just loads of Lego sets have stickers.
Yeah, which I find weird on Lego, but I guess it is what it is. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think, to be honest, even for collector stuff, I think there's not as much appetite for it as there once was. I mean, one thing we haven't talked about, but there's even been reissues, Triptychon again as one example, and Piranacon with the stickers pre-applied, which actually they were a bit crap. They don't look so good on Piranacon, but that's by the by. But I think you are, as you just said then, if you got reissues with before, if you get reissues with tampos, that's preferential. So I think ultimately the appetite for it is not there necessarily, is it? Let's be fair.
Yeah.
So if you got a Soundwave reissue in the future and they tampoed those stickers on as the speakers or as the battery, would you be happy either way? Or would you then have thought to yourself, I would have wanted to make that choice about whether I go Microchange accurate or Transformers Hasbro accurate?
I'd be happy either way, to be completely honest. Like it's one of those where if I'm presented, it's like what you were saying earlier, Lim. Like if I'm presented with the choice, then I have to think about it and whatever. But if the choice is made for me, whatever.
I mean, his breakfast choices are a perfect example of that, aren't they?
Indeed.
Made by the child within me. But definitely with Soundwave, because the experience of stickering that reissue was so awful. Like even now, like the the wrist stickers, they constantly peel. Every time I look at them, it's come back off slightly, and
that's more to do with the quality of the stuff that they offer these days, isn't it?
But I think that's what I think that comes down to it a little bit. Is I think what you're saying about the appetite is slightly gone, and I think a lot of that is the negative experience of when they brought it back. I think it opened people's eyes to something different. They're like, maybe I'm not as into this, and it brought forth a lot of problems. And I think that's kind of where that's gone.
Whereas I think if all reissues were done in the way that you mentioned the Micromaster 6 combiners earlier, those versus the vintage specimens, and how nice those reissues look with no sticker application to be done whatsoever. If all reissues were done like that, nobody would be complaining.
It's mad to think of Micromasters that have sticker sheets, isn't it? But they did. They did. Micromaster sticker sheets for those things. But then you just pick up a G1 C-Con or a Triggerbot or a Triggercon, and you put the stickers on that, very, very small sticker sheet, good quality stickers, and you think to yourself, look how much that brings to the toy. How wonderful is that final result? I did Windsweeper a couple of years ago, and it's just wonderful with the stickers on. Just wonderful. And you think, well, maybe there is something to it. A lot of it is down to the quality and the number of stickers that you're given.
Very true. I will say there have been other Micromasters. Skystalker is one. Even the little Micromaster dude himself.
True, yeah.
Some of the bases and things, not the main sets, the patrols and things, but
or
some
like
of the bases.
Airwave, Hot House, these kind of things.
Yeah, they Ground Shaker. They typically have little stickers on them.
Yeah, Ironworks has a sticker. Of course, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny old one.
The ones that always catch me out are the throttle bots. I never expected the windscreens to be stickers on some of them.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to be painted, and then some of them are stickers, aren't they? And it's like, oh.
Yeah, and Rollbar has some of the most unique stickers of all, because he's got the little, the mountains or whatever, the reflection, which is really cool.
What about Sandstorm with an actual person in the window sticker? That's mad.
That one.
Is that the only G1 toy like that that's got like a person stuck on it?
I struggle to think of another one. But that really surprised me when I got Sandstorm in hand not so long ago.
I did not know that until you guys very graciously sent me that toy, which was amazing. But that was the first time I'd ever seen it. And I've seen loads of pictures of that toy, and I'd never noticed that until I was actually had it in my hand. I was like, oh my God, that there. Fantastic.
It's easy to miss. Easy to miss.
Is that not another pro for stickers, that if you do it right, it brings something to the toy that just straight up paint and coloured plastic will never do?
But it adds so much detail, doesn't it? It's like a lot of that thing like where you see, because we're so used to toon accuracy, and when you see sometimes it's cool, but like when you see the stickered versions and all the details that have been lost going to the cartoon version of the toys, and you're like, oh man, I just wish some of that would have been brought over. They do add so much character and just depth to these toys, I think.
We're hilarious, man, because we've been sat here all night talking about all the crap things about stickers. You know, they peel off, they fall off, they're a pain in the arse to do, and something else you got to get all this kit and whatever else. And now, in the nth hour, we're like, oh, it's so nice, it's such a process, you know, all of
Mate,
this.
I can't wait to sticker up that broadside. I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Have fun with it, honestly, and it can be fun.
And Fort Max, one day. That Fort Max is going to get stickers.
I loved it. What an experience. And I still have a couple of photos of when I did Fort Max. And honestly, I could say it was a very enjoyable evening, a memorable evening. Sad as that sounds. But it was.
And the reward, man, the wow moment when it's done.
It is very emblematic of any hobby, though, isn't it? You spend a lot of time so focused on it and moaning about stuff. And then when it comes down to it at the end, you go, but I love this thing about it. I love this and this. Everything you hate, or not hate, but everything you moan about, suddenly just you like it in some way, or it's inconsequential.
So what we're saying then is that like stickering is almost like a bit of a necessary evil. Maybe not evil, but it's like it's something that can be pretty arduous, but we love it all the same.
It would be great if we didn't have these standards that it had to be perfect. If it was just about sticker it, if it goes a bit wonky, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't even be stressful. It would just be fun.
Slap it on, mate. Yeah. Well, with that said, we should wrap up the old discussion and move on. And of course, it's time to talk about our Patreon, isn't it, Maz?
Right. So, patreon.com/triple takeover. Currently, still 4 tiers. Everything from apologetic rant just to tell us you love us. You get a nice thank you message from us there. To Man in Pig, where you get early access to episodes. You can vote in episode polls. Then there's the Rats and Cats level, where you can ask questions and we will answer them on the pod. Got one coming up for you in just a moment. And of course, there's the Sixo's Butler, which is currently our premium tier. And that makes up the vast majority of our patrons, must say. So obviously people like extra content, and that's what we can provide at Sixo's Butler. You can commission minisodes, and these are like 20 to 40 minute exclusive episodes, a little bit shorter than the main ones. And you get to choose the topic from a list that we give you, or someone might come up with something fantastic like red tracks, which we added to the list very recently, and that was absolutely one we're looking forward to. So loads of benefits. We think it's great value, and actually we're going to be doing a little bit of a rejig of these soon, and we think that's going to introduce even more value, and we're going to offer more content and another tier as well. So keep your eyes on that. That's patreon.com/triple takeover. So like we said, you get the opportunity to ask a question, and that's both for Rats and Cats and Sixo's Butler. So if you are a Butler or a Rats and Cats level member and you haven't submitted a question yet, just pop onto Patreon, go into your DMs and send us the question you'd like us to answer. Today, we're going to answer a question from Chuck Pierce, and he says, "Hi there, Sixo, Liam and Maz. First off, thank you so much for the work you do on this podcast. It's something that really brightens an otherwise dreary workday every time an episode is released. I guess my question is a simple one, but one that I don't think has really been covered in the podcast. Though if it has, I apologise. In general, are you Team Autobot or Team Decepticon? Good guys or bad guys? Which do you find yourself flocking to more? Thanks for your time and keep on rolling out."
No word of a lie. As well as the discussion about good guys and bad guys and whatever, I got asked this by my son today.
What did you say?
Autobot. All the way. He told me he thought I was a Decepticon, so what does that tell you? I don't know. But I've always been Team Autobot. I was as a kid, am as an adult. Just generally, I don't know. It's always thought that they had the best toys. I think cars always appealed more than jets and stuff like that. That's one thing. But there's just something about the kind of, this is going to sound so sad, but like the moral code and all of that, it just always struck me as like something that I kind of maybe identified with a little bit more. That's just me.
I was always Team Autobot as well. Nothing as deep as that, more just I like the colours. They're all brightly coloured, aren't they?
They are, yeah, to be fair.
And the little face looks like the little Autobot face looks like a little old man for some reason, and I've always been quite fond of that.
It does look like a little old man.
But it looks like he's
supposed to
scowling
be
as well.
Blue Streak's face.
Old man Blue Streak.
And the Decepticon one is Soundwave's face. But I think on the whole, I am also Team Autobot. But I did find that the best Decepticons for me were better than the best Autobots. Like I was gravitated towards Starscream and Cyclonus for years, and I like the emblem better. But these days, if I was going to stick a sticker on something, it'd be an Autobot sticker probably.
That really surprised me because like I always associate you with the Decepticon toys. Like,
I do.
Like Starscream, all the ones you've sticked and stuff like that. Or Scourge, Trigger Happy, all of these stuff.
Cyclonus.
Yeah.
But no, what about Sunstreaker, man? And Smokescreen and Mirage. These guys can't look past those.
You are the real life Counterpunch, You're there hanging out with all your Decepticon toys, but secretly as an Autobot underneath.
And my ruined thigh sticker.
Yeah.
I often think of you more in the kind of Decepticon camp as well. Because you're a
Wow. And this coming from the guy whose own kid tried to get him arrested. And we wonder why he thought you were a Decepticon.
He did try to get me arrested, yeah. Indeed.
Still the funniest kid story of all time.
Absolute classic.
I tell everyone that one hanging out the window saying, help me. It's like the funny.
Don't, honestly. You got no idea what I have to put up with. He's hilarious.
I laugh now, but this is my future, isn't it? I mean, literally, he is the same as your son.
Your little man is just as active as mine. I can see it going that way. It's hilarious. Have fun with it.
Yeah. Okay, and speaking of patrons, one of the other Sixo's Butlers perks is that we will give you a shout out on the show. And so I'd like to do that rundown of the largest number of Sixo's Butlers we've ever had. So get ready. A big thank you to Nick, Danny Roberts, Andy, Preston, Chris, Spiderfather, Adam Shoemaker, Zachary Blader, Matt, Stephen Perkins, Bad Saturday, Justin Massaro, Dave Dalrymple, Absurd, Geokaiser, Yusufa, John Pearl, Cliff Saras, Troy Seth, Anthony Cars, Alec Meir, Captain R.A., Phil G, Jacques Pelletier, Alicia aka Alicia Tron, Rotorstorm, Stuart Webb, Amar, Laserbeak, Puma the Hunter, Vegemite Mike, Peter Hammerson, Shenry, Chris Norris, Jesse Moreno, Jackson Arwood, Yip, MK Tronic, Nexus, Jemoin, Aaron Swoboda, TF Starfire, Billigator, Andy Gold, Jake Hoberg, Simon Elvin, deep breath, Josh Hulls, David Nabby, Misha Kidd, Michael Kegel, Cracktastic Plastic, Dan Bastater, Jeffrey Freeg, and some new ones, Nice Sideburns Andy, Chuck Pierce, Inbound Lee, John Wood, Kyler Wilmuth, Tim Banerjee, Campbell, Harold the Barrel, and the Mapes Brothers, who you might recognise. What a list.
Harold the Barrel, does he have any other names at all, Maz?
Why don't you ask him? And then tell us all? You know what? When he told me what he suggested that we call him, it just felt like a moment out of The Simpsons, and I felt like Mo the bartender. Like I was going to read that out loud, and everyone else was going to cackle because I hadn't realised what he'd put for his first choice.
Oh, man. It was the fact that in our little messenger thread, you were just like, what's wrong with it? And I was like, read it out loud. Just read it out loud and see if you want to say that on the pod every time. But he did suggest another name, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I love how long that list is getting. It's like the world's best school. It's like the world's best school register, isn't it?
Fantastic support there. We greatly appreciate it as always.
Yeah. Cheers, dudes.
Yeah, and a little shout out to our historic butlers who had been there from the start or have contributed for a very, very large period of time. Since we started. So that's Dean Watts, Mike S, Jonathan False Logic Howard, Brian Fox, Chris C137 and Billy Ho. Thank you so much for all the support you've given us throughout the time that we've been live, and we look forward to having you back one day.
Your ability to read names out like this, man. Billy Joel has nothing on you at all, man.
Indeed.
Could you please put "We didn't start the fire" when I'm reading that list?
We've already done that. We've done that one. We've done that one.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
You need to listen back to the episodes, Maz. What can I tell you?
I don't know. Do we do cutlery on Redbubble? I don't know.
Right, exactly. Well, what we do have is a sponsor, which is tfsource.com. So we should mention them again. Thank you very much for sponsoring the pod. We really appreciate it. Do check them out for all your Transformers, third-party Diaclone needs, and whatever else at tfsource.com.
And we do obviously have the Redbubble store where we sell lots of Triple Takeover branded merchandise.
You sure about that?
We do, definitely. Not cutlery, apparently, but
croissants, maybe.
Yeah, croissants. But you can find that at redbubble.com/people/Triple Takeover/explore. And the perfect place to wear one of these Triple Takeover t-shirts would be at TF Nation, when we do our live show.
That's right. A big thank you to TF Nation for inviting us along on the Friday at 1700. We will be doing a live show, so please join us, get your Friday tickets, and what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, indeed. I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. I remember very fondly the panel that you and I did a couple of years ago, M.A.S.K.
That was great.
And, it was really good fun, and this should be quite a laugh.
I enjoyed that. Even I enjoyed that, and I was there.
Yeah, indeed.
Physically, at least.
I was very hungover at the back.
Yes. I remember that as well. But don't be hungover for this one, please.
I'm definitely avoiding the drink pre this thing. But,
yeah, indeed. I think that
it's
might
so
be wise
exciting.
for all of us.
It's like, we get to dance, sing, all these exciting things.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's when we'll debut our live show, isn't it? Of course. So,
When's the matinee?
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Should be good fun.
If you want to find out more about us at TF Nation, or you just want to follow us on social media, you can find us at @triple_takeover on Instagram and Twitter, and at triple takeover, all one word, on Facebook. Guys, where can they find you, Bev?
I am at TFsquareone on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And I am at Sixo and TF on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon.
I'm at Toybox Soapbox. Anyway, there's an at.
So that's the end of our session on stickering, meaning it's time for us to peel off into the night with every spot sufficiently covered. Have a good one, everyone.
This was an absolute hellscape.